Today is a day unlike no other because today has to be better than yesterday. But what if it's not? What if today is worse than the day before and tomorrow's just as bad? What if everything that you thought you knew was a lie and everything around you that you cared about wasn't there anymore? These are some of the thoughts that people who suffer from depression, anxiety, and a host of other mental disabilities go through. These are some of the thoughts that people who are questioning if they should live or not are asking themselves every waking second. And the simplest thing that you can do to be for those persons, to be there for them, is to simply listen, to simply open up your heart, open up your mind, say absolutely nothing more than I love you as you are, and take it all in. Because on days like today, when things are going great for you, when everything that you thought this life can offer has been handed to you, and you've had none of these issues, there are people, even when they smile on the inside, are crying and dying little by little. If you are one of those people who are thinking of harming yourself, or you're thinking about harming somebody else, please don't. Please reach out and get help. Contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Whether you know it or not, we care. I care. As I get closer to the anniversary of my friend losing his battle, I care. I am willing to be there every step of the way. You can call and get help. And maybe, just maybe, you don't want to go that route. Maybe you just want to talk to somebody. Then simply go online. Go to your phone. Look it up. It's not hard. Type in BetterHelp, where you can actually get connected with a real-time therapist. You don't need no video camera. Maybe you want to see them face-to-face. You can do face-to-face. You can do video. You can even call and just simply have a conversation over the phone. You can do all that and more with a simple push of a button. And if for some reason, some odd, unusual reason, you're just not ready to take that step and you need somebody to fight that fight with you, then reach out to me with a simple message. Whether you place it on the video, send me an email, join the Discord, Twitter, Instagram. All I needed to say is we need to talk. And my heart is open, my ears are open, and I will be there. So before you do something that I have to live with, something that people who care about you have to live with, do something that not only you can live with, but we would be more than happy to live it with you. Now, with that being said, let's talk football. People, welcome back to another FieldReview podcast show. I have been waiting patiently, like 50 Cent said, for a track to explode on. This is my day. I am feeling good. I'm feeling good for a lot of good reasons. First and foremost, shout out to my queen, who has met another milestone in this thing called life, as she has graduated with a degree. Could not be more proud of you, sweetheart. So congratulations to you. To the people who are graduating this week, I know there's a lot of people graduating this week from college and things like that. Shout out to you. To my people who are going to the prom, about to be as sharp as a knife in the drawer, shout out to you. To the people who are getting married this weekend or got married on Friday or yesterday or whatever, shout out to you. To the people who got a promotion, shout out to you. To the people who to the people who are here listening, shout out to you. I'm about to have some fun with it. And the reason I'm starting off on such a high note, a note of positivity, a note of this, is because I'm pretty sure I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to upset a lot of people. And while it is not my intention, please be assured that I'm going to do my best to explain myself, as I always do. I understand that I am not the cup of tea for everybody, and I get that. It is something that I do not hide, all right? But I am going to give you my view on our current draft as it is, and some people are not going to be happy. Some people are going to be happy. Some people are not. But it's going to be fun. Les Eagles in the building with me. Jon Kapler, Looney Tunes, Mars Moon is in the building. Detroit, Dr. Detroit's in the building. Friendly Neighborhood Lions in the building. Jello, Mike Bell is in the building. One fucking Lions fan, Dr. Pepperoni. Stephen Westbrook, Lions Rumble 81. Mark Melashay, hope I said that right. James Tansley is in the building. Chrome is in the building. Craig Ferguson, C. Gerald, Mark, I got that one already. Detroit D, Antonio Jenkins. Let me see, make sure I ain't missing nobody. Buffed Up is in the building. Gino's in the building. Chopper Travis in the building. James Larkin, Super Saiyan Lion. Make sure I ain't miss nobody. I'm really trying to make sure I don't miss nobody. People, if you in here, put the shout out in there. First black man on the net. Shout out to my man. Says, Luke, I've never been as happy to be dead wrong. I apologize, my brothers. Brad Holmes is different. Hey, that's all right. Go Lions. Thank you for being there. This is for my man Stu Boogie. Hope I said that right. Dan Spanos in the building. Make sure Southwest Lion. James Harrington, One Pride 40. Timothy Short, Motown Football. Man, I'm getting them all. Malik Mills. He says, Luke, you ready for me to talk my talk? I absolutely am. Motor City Thanos is in the building. Shade is in the building. Old Timer Dave, our residential Packer fan. Luke, you are scaring everyone. I feel like I might be. Coach Mike Jones is in the building. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. I'm making sure. My man Dirty Glove Williams, Joe Lewis 313, and Ghost Gunner, Andre R, the Singles Dads Club. Shout out to you, sir. Make sure I say Darth Twerk is in the building. Crimson Shadow, Shaquille Mustafa. I hope I said that right. Ferg A. Rising. I hope I said that right. Andrew Ism is in the building. Chris Wallace. King Charles Bulgarius. My man Bruce Betterly is in the building. All right, this one right here gonna get me right here. Haska Halo. I suck with names. I really need to work on that. Midwest Lions in the building. Rich Law, Marcus Robinson, D. Williams. All right, we in the building. First things first, people. The future is now. The 2022 NFL Draft is in the books. Thank God. No more speculations. No more mock drafts. In fact, I don't even think I'm doing a mock draft next year. I cannot do it anymore. They're stupid. They just are. The first things first, there's a lot of things I was wrong about. I thought that they would take either Sauce Gardner or Kyle Hamilton. I was wrong about that. Shout out to that. I thought that based on some of the things that he said, that I was getting closer and closer to cracking the code. But apparently there's pieces to him that I did not know. He's like that chick that you meet that looks good on the outside, but deep down inside, she's probably going to slice your tires. And you don't really care because she do so many things nicely. However, what else I was wrong about? I was wrong about my code breaking of Holmes. As I said, though, he's the hardest I ever had. Everybody else has been very difficult. Now, let's get right into it because I know I'm finna piss people off. Before I give you my grade, every person in the chat, drop me what you give this draft. I want to know what you give this draft. Shout out to my man JGB. What up, though? All right. I want to know what grade do you give this draft? And if you're not familiar who we got, let me know, and I will put that on the screen. I want you to be able to do it because I noticed some things from this draft based on what they said that now has me reevaluating Brad Holmes. I feel like it's going to take a little bit longer to get the code completely cracked on this one. But there are some interesting things that have come out in this draft. And it's shocking because it does correlate to the last one. So, as you guys are dropping them in there, I want to see the grades because I want to see how y'all feeling. It is a day after. Everybody should be feeling good. My man Detroit's on Big Wheel. Shout out to the homie. We got my man Jimmy Stoneful in the building. Shout out. All right, so I see B plus, A. Okay. B plus. Dirty Gloves has been real generous. He gave him the plus. I mean, technically, ain't a plus an A minus? Maybe I'm tripping. We got a B plus. Got an A minus, a B plus, an A minus. I give this draft an A plus. Malik Mills gave it a. Let me count this. 1, 2. Make sure I don't miss this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He gave it an A plus times 10. So he's approving of it. B minus, A plus plus, an F from Buffed Up, B plus, B, C, and B plus. All right, here's my grade. I get this draft for C. It's a C for me. And it's a C for me for a lot of reasons that many of you are not going to like. But I think that y'all have to understand that I'm strange, okay? And by strange, meaning that I cannot ignore the history. I'll explain further. The first thing I told everybody is that I do not care who they take. I don't. The name does nothing for me. I don't care who they take. They had 5 picks in the top 100. I need at least 3 to 5 starters. In other words, you got 5 picks in there. We got positions of need on defense that can be filled. And I walked away from this draft feeling like I did not get my 3 to 5 starters. When I go through and look at this draft, is Aiden Hutchinson going to start? Yep. Is Jameson Williams going to start? Sometime this season. Don't know when, but I guess at some point he will have to, right? No. When I go and look at Pascal, is he starting? No. Is Kirby Joseph starting? No. Is James, what is it? James Mitchell? How you pronounce his name? Is he starting? No. Rodriguez, is he starting? No. And while people are excited, I've come to a point where I've only given it a C because for the most part, I did not get my starters. I did not get the starters that I think that we need to help us immediately. Jameson Williams, if he plays day one, I'll move my grade a little differently. But he's not going to be in from when I'm here until November. Okay. And before someone tells me, oh, this is about the future. Okay, well, let's talk about the future because the future is now. You have to do something to start to change the narrative. And I'm not acting as if though I'm the smart guy in the room, but I walked out and looked at this draft and I asked 1 or 2 questions. Will our first 2 picks in the first round live up to the hype? Will they get a second contract? Will they start? And will they have an immediate impact? I'm not confident enough to say that right now. I'm not feeling that to be the case. But what I did figure out in looking at this draft is that many of the things that I'm seeing is much of the same. The last time I felt like this was when we took Okuda. And I was right. And I could be wrong this time. I'm praying that I'm wrong this time. I am begging to be wrong this time. I just need them to play and perform and have immediate impact. And I don't care who they take. I don't. But I'm amazed at the fact that whenever I see this, I'm amazed at it. I've seen people giving A's out like they was just nothing more than a fresh breath of air. That's all it was. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, where's our starters? Don't tell me Pascal is taking somebody's spot. Whose spot he taking? And there's the scary part about it. I think Pascal is going to be the best player of this whole draft. That's the scary part. I think that the guy we took from Kentucky, who was not on my radar, but you should have saw me watching game after game after game and walking away and said, oh, that's Cameron Jordan all over again. I felt good about him, and yet I still would not have taken him in the second round. Okay with it, but still would not have done it. And I watch Lions fans get excited and say, oh, this is a home run draft as we trade up 12 spots and select a receiver who's hurt. And everybody says, well, he's the number 1 receiver. He's the number 1 receiver in this draft if he wasn't hurt. But he's hurt. And you're not going to get a chance to see him play until what, October, maybe November? And at that point, how big of a difference is he going to make? Could be a big difference. We don't know. So for me, I'm giving it a C because for each one of these picks, I'm on a wait and see moment. I don't care if he's ready for camp. Tell me when he's on the field week 1. Don't care about camp. Don't care about training camp. Don't care about OTAs. Tell me when he's on the field week 1. That's all I care about. Now, for me, again, keep in mind, I have questions because I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, as much as I like me some Jared Davis, he has had issues with staying healthy. He has had issues with staying healthy. And I'm far from Rico Beard. This is just me telling you how I see this draft. I am on a prove it because the last time I got excited and gave an A+ to a draft, those guys didn't do nothing for this team. So I'm on a wait and see. But when I go through and I look at it, you have 4 picks in the top 100, really the top 97. And out of those 4, how many are starters? 2? 1 in the possible because the one that you know is going to be a starter in the future may not play for half the season. That's an issue for me. Now, I'm not trying to be just a sourpuss, but I left this message up there from Joe Lewis. Shout out to my man 313. Because that's my grade. It's a C. It's a C draft. And part of the reasons why I feel it is because I go by history. I'm not finna sit here and act as if though I'm so excited for Aiden Hutchinson when the history tells me that we're probably not going to get this stellar player out of Michigan. We're not getting that guy. Why? That's not Michigan's history. And while Aiden Hutchinson can change it, that's cool. But I can't sit here and act as if though that everybody else who, when somebody drafts a quarterback out of Ohio State, we make fun of them. We do. We make fun of them. When you get a linebacker from Penn State, we go, that's linebacker you. Right? And I'm just saying that if you look at this draft, and you telling me that you have 4 picks on the top 100, how many of them are starters? You telling me that this receiving class, you telling me that we are so much better off with a receiver who can't play for middle of the half the season than to take the guy from Georgia named Pickens. We're so much better off than we just, and the history don't say that. And I'll show you what I mean. And once I get done giving you what I mean, I'll let you come in and tell me I'm full of shit. But the reality is I have 1 simple criteria, which is come in, be a starter, have immediate impact. Now, if all those guys end up being a starter, great. If they come in to be a starter, great. And for me, if I'm not getting that, it's a C draft. Not getting high on this draft because this the same reaction I got from people. The same reaction I got from people when we took Jeff Okudah. It's the same thing. A+, A-, A+. Same thing. Tell me how that's working out. Look at that draft class and tell me how that's working out. Man, we got a hard-hitting safety. Will Harris, he hard-hitting. How's it working out? And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just giving y'all my view. Y'all entitled to have y'all view. I'm not mad at y'all view. I love y'all view. Be different. But I'm not in the group on this. The history say that those pass rushers from Michigan don't pan out. It just don't. It's not my fault. It's not my history. We can look at it, though. So I decided to take a look at all the people drafted from Michigan. And clearly you can see right here that there's some names on here. But I remember a lot of people in the Detroit fan base wanted Kwity Paye. And I'm not judging Kwity Paye yet because it's only been 1 year in. But I can assure you it ain't what we thought it was. Now, if they would have took an offensive lineman from Michigan, oh, yeah, forward down the field, rah-rah, jump up and down, because that's shown history-wise to work out. But I want you to take a look at this and you tell me, in those first-round people that they've taken, who would stand out? Who's the killer? Now, again, I remember there's a lot of people who wanted Rashawn Gary. He took a step in what, year 3? Year 2? Whatever. I don't know. It took a while. But it still ain't what you expecting to get out of a guy taking 12th overall. It's just not. You want to tell me Jabril Peppers is about that life? He's on what? Team number what? 2, 3? But that's not the point. Let's look at the D lineman. The Dallas Cowboys took Taco Charlton. He's not even on that team no more. And these are people that I heard Lions fans say that they wanted. And I already know what the narrative is going to be. Well, Luke, Aiden Hutchinson better than them. Okay. I'll wait and see. I'm not finna get high and do what we always do and think every pick is good. I'm not doing it because to me, I'm on a wait and see because I don't see but 2 starters. And the one starter ain't going to play until halfway in the season. But look at the history. Look at the history. Brandon Graham, 13th overall. He's killing them, right? He's had splash moments, but for the most part, there's nothing to write home about. And you keep going down. You look at the linemen work out. Not going to lie about that. Those offensive linemen, they work out. But when you look at guys like Lamar Woodley who has success, he wasn't taken in the first. And I'm not making this up, but I'm just saying the same way we can make fun of the Bears for taking an Ohio State quarterback, the same way we can make fun of teams for taking Alabama quarterbacks, we can do the same thing with Michigan. And we should be doing it. Because the history say that these players are not coming out getting it done. They're not. This is all the people that's ever been drafted. I'm already at 2004. They've had quite a few pass rushers, but nothing to write home about. That's all I'm saying. That's just my view. And when I go through and I look at people like Quiddy Play, who college stats, I looked at his college stats and I'm like, interesting. I go over, I look at Taco Charlton's, I go, interesting. And then I get all the way down here to my man Brandon Graham, and I go, interesting. And yet, the production does not seem to always match up. Now, again, I'm not here to change nobody's mind. I'm not attempting to switch anybody's mind. I'm attempting to have a conversation. I cannot get excited when history tells me to hold my horses. I got to hold my horses. I cannot act as if though we just knocked it out the park. Who the last person took in this high didn't work out? Braylon Edwards. Sorry, Braylon. For the most part, you was okay, but okay. Third overall. Okay. If you're talking about at the position as a DN, doesn't matter. This is a draft where you could have abandoned all traditions. Why? Because Brad Holmes said it. He said, all you Malik Willis people, he said Malik Willis went where he thought he should have went. And I agree. I thought he was a later round pick. He was not a first round talent. So I'm happy about that. But when I look at this draft, he said, let me on the show. I'm going to put the link in there. I'm definitely going to put the link in there because I want y'all to yell at me. When I look at this draft, I didn't get my 4 starters with the top 100 players that we just took. I would have rather they not traded up to 12, took a hurt receiver, cap pick 32 and pick 34, got me something totally different. Oh, shout out to Jeremy Rice. I think that's who it was who said that the Lions was not taking a linebacker until like day 3. He heard per a source. That was a true statement. So shout out to him. I know it's one of the Pride of Detroit people. So shout out to them for that. Right? But again, I'm not getting excited for that. When I look at Jamison Williams, I'm like, dang, speedy guy. And if it's one thing I know about this Lion fan base, y'all love speedy receivers. Every time they draft a receiver, you give them an A. Every time. It never fails. Draft a receiver, you will get a high grade. It never fails. But the end of the day for me, I'm hoping that they crush it. He says, Luke keeps saying he won't play till midseason. Then dogs, Braylon, left not out. Braylon tore his ACL, then went to the Pro Bowl the next year. Great example. Yep. Yep. I'm with it. I knew that I was going to piss people off. I knew it. Right? So I expect for people to be like, yo, you full of shit. But I've heard it before. I heard it before with Okuda. I'm still waiting on Okuda to beat somebody. And it's not happening. Now, yes, when he's healthy, he's a dog. We're going to have to wait for him to be healthy. That's all we're going to do. But when I look at this team, I should have walked away with 3 to 4 starters. And I do not believe Kirby will start. I think Kirby can probably start by default because I think Elliott's going to get hurt. But I think Elliott and Tracy Walker is your starting safeties. Because when I listen to Brad Holmes, and this is another thing I'm going to bring up as we're talking, I realized that everything Brad Holmes said was true. I just misinterpreted how he said it. I thought he was trying to be slick and had his attentions. Oh, fuck no. He was totally honest this year. It never dawned on me that he was telling the truth the whole time. Never even crossed my mind. Never crossed my mind. So, with that being said, the link is in the chat. I will give every person a short minute. I probably won't do community, but I will let any person who wants to come in. I have linked it in the chat. It is pinned at the top. All I ask is that you keep it respectful. Let's have a conversation. All right? Don't come in here calling me no bitches and no hoes or none of that stuff, okay? Keep it respectful. Now, my first guest up, I'm excited he's here because I know he's going to have a lot to say. My man Drew is in the building. What up, though?
Hello.
Drew, what's up? First of all, let me say this.
Yeah.
What is your grade that you give this draft? I want to make sure we get that recorded.
Sure. This is an A+ for me. This
all
is
right, talk about it.
Not only is it an A+, I've been paying attention to the draft for about 25 years now, and this is top to bottom one of the best that I think I've ever seen.
Okay. So
I'm very thrilled. I've never had more fun watching the first round of a draft than I did this year. So I'm pretty excited. I think that now that this draft is complete, I think we get a better idea of like who Brad Holmes is as someone who manipulates the draft. And I don't know. I thought I was very, very excited about the players that they selected. I think that it's going to be a good group. And, if this group works out, then next year, I think that the kinds of players that they're going to target are going to be pretty obvious because this will be the second draft that really adds to the foundation of the franchise. So 2023, I'm hoping, will be the last time that they really have to draft for the foundation of the franchise, and they can maybe start targeting like individual players that they really feel high about, or good about. Yeah, so I was big into this class. I was pretty excited. So I'm very happy right now.
How many starters do you think we got out of the 8 picks?
Well, let's see.
I'm talking about this year. I don't want to hear about 2024 or 2023. We're talking about 2022. Upcoming season. How many starters did they get out of 8 picks?
I think Aiden's going to start. I think that Williams will start. I think, let's see. I don't remember their entire class off the top
then
of my head.
You got the DN out of Kentucky, Pascal. Then at the Pascal, they went the 5th round and took the tight end Mitchell. Then at the Mitchell, Rodriguez. And at the Rodriguez, the guy from Jackson State.
He's an edge too, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And they got a linebacker in there. the kid from Oak State, Malcolm Rodriguez. Is that his name? Chat, help me out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
So I think that of those guys, the guys that have I think that Aiden's a starter. I think that Williams is a starter. I don't know about Kirby Joseph. I would give that a coin flip. I think it depends on how quickly he picks up the defense. So I think that what you would probably see there is Deshaun Elliott would start for the first 4-6 games. And then if Joseph is picking things up well, like the scheme, I think that he has the opportunity to take Elliott's job.
Okay.
So I don't know how you want to consider that.
That's not, I mean, listen, I'm asking you. This is just, listen, I'm out of it. I gave my view. I had a simple criteria. It was not met. And I'm not going to act as if though we just knocked it out the park. This is not a home run. This is an infield hit that they can pick up and throw back and get a person out, in my opinion. But I just look at it, and I'm just saying, when you look at it, to give it an A++, and you got 8 picks, and 4 of them were in the top 100, and you're struggling to give me 4 to 3 starters, not acceptable.
But that's your criteria. That's not my criteria for how I'm basing my grade on this draft. So I'm not grading this.
No, I get what you're saying. I get everything you're saying. I'm just telling you that this team needed starters, and that's what I'm saying. But please don't go nowhere. I'm gonna put you in the background. I want to give every person a chance to talk. They talk to me, and then we'll talk. Hold up in the back. Next up, we're going to get a man who asked for Malik Willis and Aiden Hutchinson, then went Malik Willis back to Aiden Hutchinson, then from Aiden Hutchinson back to Malik Willis and settled on Malik Willis, and that's the Michigan man himself, who's probably going to come in here now and say, I always wanted Aiden Hutchinson. What's going on, my man, Malik?
Luke did not tell you we were going to draft Aiden Hutchinson. Did not tell you. I
don't have a problem with it. Don't have a problem with it.
Everyone that y'all didn't want to believe me. I knew. I told him. I talked to Brad Holmes. I told him. He got to draft him.
Okay, but the history say he's going to probably be Matt at best.
Now Aiden Hutchinson.
Go through. I'm just saying, go through and look at the history of people that's come out of Michigan. The ones who have succeeded the most have been offensive linemen.
Well, Aiden Hutchinson going to change that.
Okay, cool.
All them other edge rushers wasn't him. I was hoping that we could have got Ojabo. We could have gotten Ojabo if the Ravens didn't select him 1 pick before us.
I mean, listen, I just look at it and I say, you had more picks. And I love how everyone tried to sell, Green Bay didn't do nothing, and the Bears didn't do nothing, and the Vikings did. We fleeced them, and I'm just like, okay.
And then another thing I want to say, you gotta love this draft too, because look, we finessed the Vikings,
but we didn't though.
We literally did though,
but we didn't though.
Because they were supposed to get a first round connection from that draft.
Whatever it was that they could have gotten, should have got. If I go to you and I sell you my car for $100, did you fleece me, or did I just give you a deal? Sometimes I may give you the deal because I might just need the money and gotta get this shit going and get it moved, right? And I'm not proclaiming to be a dope dealer, but I've known some dope dealers. I can tell you that they have sold some dope real cheap to get it moved just because they didn't want to have it too much longer. So I'm not going to act like we fleeced them because they didn't get an extra. They didn't get an extra first. I'm not going to do that.
And then I just want to say, Pascal, I'm not too sure about him, but he might could be.
He's my favorite pick.
And you want to know a fun fact about Pascal? Pascal from the same area I'm from, which is the Washington D.C. area. He's from the same area.
I know his commercial he did for that dentist office was funny as hell. So that was dope to see.
He did a commercial already?
I mean, that was funny. But I'm just saying, for me, I'm gonna wait and see, bro. I'm not giving them a high grade. The grade will go up when I see performances. When I see starters, the grade will go up.
Well, I'm telling you, we got what? 2, 3 starters. 2. Rodriguez can start. Rodriguez.
Who he starting over?
Who he starting over?
Yeah.
He gonna start over probably who every see. All right. Derek Barnes gonna be it's gonna be between him and Derek Barnes.
You think he's starting over? So hold on, wait. So if he starts over Derek Burns, then you're saying that Brad Holmes messed up last year taking Derek Burns.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he might be able to start over Derek Barnes because we don't know how. We got to see how transition Derek Barnes transition from last year to this year.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, again, you wanted Aiden Hutchinson, right? I'm not mad at you. They took Aiden Hutchinson, so congratulations on getting that right. Even though you switched up and said Malik Willis at 2 and chunkered down on Malik Willis at 2.
But that's because I was going back and forth, but that's because they kept switching it. One minute they kept saying, "Oh, he's gonna be there, he's gonna be there."
We was picking 2. He wasn't gonna be wet, man. You already knew the Jacksonville Jaguars weren't taking him. Now we're not gonna try to clean it up right now.
No,
you was no. And my Mutombo, no. You said, quote, we're taking Malik Willis, and I told you he's not worth that kind of capital.
If you go back and look, 2 weeks, the last time I was on your show, 2 weeks before that, when we did the mock draft, I said I was sticking with Ed because I said I was taking George. That is true.
You did.
Because if Aiden Hutchinson is not there, I said I'm taking George Karlaftis. So I was really always on the edge.
You're right. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, again, I got people waiting, brother. I want to give everybody a chance to yell at me and tell me I'm full of shit. So I'm just going down the line. So don't take it personal. Hang in the background if you need to, but let me go and get the other people in the building. All right.
All
right. Next up, we have, and I'm taking y'all in the order y'all jumped in. We have Joe Lewis 313. What up, though?
What up, though, Luke? You can hear me?
I can hear you, brother. What's going on? So I'm happy. This your first time on the show, so have some fun with it.
I'm gonna start coming in, bro. I'll be working around this time. You be going live.
Hey, this is the only reason I was able to go. Okay, so let me just go back for the people in the chat listening and the people in the background listening. Please bear with me. My wife graduated from college, so I've been celebrating with her, having fun with her and trying to make things peaceful for her since she met another milestone. And today she was like, "Hey, go talk your sports." And I was like, "All right, cool, great, awesome. This is why I married you." So that's why I'm here. But what do you have for me? First of all, what grade do you give this draft?
Like I said earlier, man, I gave it a C, bro. Like you, I was agreeing with you when you say we don't have no starters. There's only 2 starters possibly in this draft. When they drafted a wide receiver, when they moved up a couple of spots, moved up for a receiver, for an injured receiver at that, they took a huge risk on that. And it's like, is he gonna start week 1? So we just moved up, gave all that draft capital for an injured receiver. Then if he don't start, don't pan out the way he's supposed to, then we're going to be side-eyeing Brad Holmes, be like, okay, what are you thinking? Then at 46, you had Nakobe Dean right there in your hands. Then you drafted a deaf player at 46 instead of getting a starter linebacker. It just didn't make no sense to me.
I like the Pascal pick. Would I have taken him there? No. Do I think we could have did something a little bit different? Yes. But am I killing them for taking the pick? No. I'm killing them because I got 4 picks in the top 100 and I got 1.5 starters. And I don't want to hear about 2023 and 2024. I'm talking about this year. They needed immediate help this year, and I didn't get that. And I see people rolling in here. One of the faces I can't wait to talk to because he gave a whole lot of suck my and kick my balls, and he was real nasty with it. Just kind of turned me on a little bit. Just gonna be honest about it. He was so disrespectful, but I understand his excitement.
Put your petty on, man. Put your petty Luca hat on.
I'm trying not to today because I really want to hear people's views on this because for me, this is a C draft. I cannot give it higher than a C. I
can't either, man. I like strongly agree with you. Like we needed starters. Okay, our defense was shit poor last year, and everybody all year. Yeah, we need starters. We need starters. But
right, that's what they were screaming, and then we get what 1.5.
Exactly. So like when they were screaming on that, we need starters the whole year. We ended up drafting deaf players.
It is what it is.
It's deaf. It's not starters because whose spot they taking?
Yeah, that's my question. My question.
Whose spot? We got like 7 DNs. Whose spot they taking? Is they gonna move Romeo to line? Like they gotta move a lot of players around. What we gonna do with Jeff Okudah? Like
he's a safety.
Yeah,
I've said it from the get-go. He's a safety. Jeff Okudah should be a safety. I do not understand how in the hell he came into the league with the idea that he's a corner. He's 100% a safety. And I guarantee you, for it's all said and done, when he have a resurgence in his career, he would be at safety. But I got a lot of people loading up in here, man. I appreciate you for coming through. You can hang in the back, and I'll bring you back on when we do community. I want to knock the people down, okay?
Go ahead, Luke, man. Appreciate
you. All right. I'm bringing in my next guest. All right, because he been patiently waiting. I'm bringing him in just because I know his face went what the fuck when I said he's a safety. Oh, my man Adam. Here we go. Adam, go ahead. Tell me I'm full of shit. It's a C draft, though.
You're a dumb motherfucker, Luke. I love you, though.
Adam,
Jeff
let's be honest,
Okudah
Adam.
is not a safety.
He's
Joseph,
oh my
you
God.
said 1.5 starters. 1.5 starters, my ass.
So give me the starters then. Give me the starters
Aiden
that we got.
Hutchinson, Josh Pascal starting off the edge in rotation. Pascal can play on the interior and on the edges. Those are two. Obviously, Jameson Williams, when healthy, and it looks like he's going to be ready for the season. That's a starting wide receiver. He's better than any wide receiver on the roster. Day one. He's your future number one. Kirby Joseph.
No. We talking about future. We talking about this year.
Deshaun Elliott. Yeah,
this year, Adam.
He's more talented than anybody on the wide receiver.
I don't
Josh
care.
Reynolds,
is he starting this year?
He's starting. Jameson Williams is starting this year. Deshaun Elliott is the reason why the Lions were even able to get him on a 1-year deal is because the dude can't stay healthy. I don't expect him to play 17 games. Kirby Joseph is a bona fide starter on this football team. They got four starters with those first four picks.
Adam, in all fair, you say he's a bona fide starter. That's going to be after, which I believe me and you in agreement about this, about Elliott not staying healthy. He'll be a starter after Elliott gets hurt, but he will not be the initial starter.
No, because you have to understand they're going to be playing a lot of 4-2-5. Hell, they're even run out of 4-1-6. Linebackers is one of the biggest weaknesses this team has, and what they're going to end up doing is what they should be doing, which is instead of in a dime package, your traditional corner, you're going to have a safety. Could be Deshaun Elliott. It could be Malcolm Rodriguez. It could be somebody going up in the slot. Could be Kirby Joseph, and we all know. Kirby Joseph is more of a ball hawk safety. Tracy Walker, a nice hybrid. And then you have Deshaun Elliott, who's a big hitter. This defense is going to have options. Look at it as options. It's not just about the 11 players on the field.
Henley?
It's about the 11 players on the field and the 3 or 4 that are going to be rotating in and out every single time. Make it.
But who's Deshaun Henley, though?
They got 4 starters, dude.
I'm saying, but is that a Deshaun Henley? Who is that? Did I miss? Wait a minute. Am I missing a player? You said Deshaun Henley. You said Deshaun Henley. So I'm trying to figure out, did I miss a player?
Sorry. No.
Oh,
sorry.
No, wait a minute. Did they get another player I don't know about? Okay, so you saying 4 starters.
Deshaun Elliott. Yep.
Deshaun Elliott. All right, so you got 4 starters. If you believe that we got 4
from the
starters
first 4 picks.
First 4 picks.
And my definition of starter is a guy that's playing more than 50-60% of the snaps in a game. That's a guy that's making an impact, is on the field.
If I see 4 starters in a season, then my grade will go up. That's my point.
How? But you saw it last year. Ali McNeil, Levi. You saw Amon-Ra St. Brown. You saw
Levi didn't start though.
No,
Levi,
but
and that's what I'm saying.
He was an impact player,
Levi continued, even though it's still early. He continued the Lions' troubles of getting the 2nd-round pick. That's worth it.
Fair, but was he on the field and was he contributing?
Yes, but he wasn't a starter. I don't care if he's on the field. He wasn't a starter. You took a guy in the 2nd round who wasn't a starter.
You're giving the Lions a C, dude. I love you, man. If I I got to take you out to dinner because we need to talk off camera. Because the Lions, let me tell you what they did. All right, Luke. Let me tell you what the Lions did. And this is coming from me. I'm very hard to please. All right. The Lions got I would say consensus number 1 player on the board for most NFL teams in Aiden Hutchinson at number 2. That's value. Okay. They traded up 20 spots for a 3rd-round pick for the consensus before injury, number 1 wide receiver on the board. But because of his injury, he fell to 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, depending on whose board. But even people like Chris Sims, Joel Klatt, they had Jameson Williams as the premier wide receiver coming out. Brad Holmes was able to get you a future number 1 wide receiver because Devontae Adams wasn't a number 1 year 1. Tyreek Hill wasn't a number 1 year 1. It's very rare that people come out like a Jamar Chase, like a Justin Jefferson, and they're the absolute number 1. It happens, It happens. It could happen with Jameson Williams. It's not the end-all, be-all. They got 4 starters, man. I can't believe you're giving them a C, and it's coming from me. I'm Mr. Cynic over here.
Listen, this is why we do this. We have to have the conversation. My view for this is I don't see 4 starters. I guarantee you by the time we get to week 6. Can you
give me your definition of starters? That way I can kind of figure out what you're trying to tell me.
They're playing over they play over 60% of the snaps.
Yeah, I think Joseph's going to be on the field a ton. I think you'll see him in a lot of
he'll be on the field. He'll be on the field at special teams. Yeah, he'll get that.
No, man. Look, forget Elliott even getting injured or any of that shit. Forget any of that. At the end of the day, there's a big hole on this team, right? There's many holes, and you can't address them all in one draft. And when the Lions made the decision, Luke, to move up for Jameson Williams, the idea of getting a linebacker in the 2nd or 3rd round and another corner or a safety, that became a little bit more difficult, right? So They went all in on Jameson. 46 came around. I love the Pascal pick. I think it's an absolute steal.
That's my favorite pick of the draft. I think Pascal, because the first thing was he wasn't on my radar. So I'm not like I knew who the hell he was. He was not on my radar. However, I went back and I watched a whole lot of damn games. And I didn't do nothing but look at him. I can care less what everybody else around him did. I just looked at him, and I was like, God, he's kicking everybody's ass. I mean, all up and down the line, just bodying him. I said, I can roll with that because I'm big on intangibles. That's a huge thing for me. But my issue when I
do you think he's not good enough to take 30% of the snaps from Levi or Aleem McNeil this year on the interior?
I think that if he takes 30% of the snaps away from anybody, I don't care if he's not taking over 60% of the snaps to be a starter. He's
going to be taking 30 on the interior. That would be my bet. 30% on the interior, and the other 40, 50, 60% of the snaps he's going to get are going to come on the edges because Aquara is not a finished product. Charles Harris is,
but that's my problem. Cares. So that's my problem. If we're saying that they're not finished products and stuff, and you took all these people from last year, I want something yielded from it. Right now, this is supposed to be the year that Levi take a step forward, and he has to take a step forward for me. If he don't, I'm pissed off about it. I just want this. And plus, this is another thing. Over the last 1, 2, 3, 5 drafts, all I kept hearing is why we keep taking hurt players. Now we take a hurt player and everybody's hyped about it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. All I've been hearing is why we
you're talking to idiots, though, right? You're talking to me right now. You're not talking to it's all right.
I'm just saying.
Hear me out. Look,
saying.
At the end of the day, you're going to look at these boards, right? And you're going to ask yourself 3-5 years down the line why a player didn't work out, why he did, and everyone will, have their own opinions. I was right about this. I was right about that. But there's no absolute denying that Brad Holmes was able to get, in my opinion, 2 of the 5 best players coming out of this draft at picks 2 and 12. That's unbelievable. At pick 46, again, you could have committed to a linebacker. You could have committed to maybe a different safety, Jaquan Brisker. You went with an edge rusher, and I love that because it shows me the value, right? We talk about value all the time. Show me value. What are you bringing to this football team? And what Brad Holmes delivered was 2 edge rushers, which this team desperately needs. He delivered a number 1 wide receiver. This team desperately needed it. There was talks of Allen Robinson, if you remember. So this team needed all 3 of those things. He got them. You go on to pick 97. I can't believe Kirby Joseph was still there. Again, I think it's an A-. Hell, you can give it an A+. Depends on who you are.
Hey, I ain't mad at you, man. Appreciate you for coming on. We definitely going to have to go out to dinner because we got to talk. And leave the cocaine at home, okay? Leave the cocaine at home. But appreciate you for coming through, brother. Like I said,
appreciate you letting me on. Thanks, man.
I ain't shutting nobody down today. I'm just giving you my view. Have a good one, man. Next up, we have my man, Detroit's own Big Will in the building. What up, though?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Listen, how you feeling? I mean, I need to know, what's your grade you giving this team for the draft?
Told you B+, man.
B+. All right. All right. So tell me, how many starters did we get?
See, like I said, like pretty much what Adam was saying, I'm not looking at starters because like we lost a lot of starters last year, right? So now we're coming in this year with people supposed to be healthy. It showed our problem with depth this last year. We don't have any. So now we have to build up the depth. Plus, be able to have starters as well. So I believe that we built a team that can last injuries. We're trying to build a team that can, when a person get up, next person can come up and be just as good as the person that just went down. If we keep going on with this, we just got a great player and that's it. And once he's down, and now we're stuck. We don't have anybody coming behind that person, and we're stuck in the same thing we've been in. We're trying to build a team different than we ever built before, and for people to see this as different than that, that's just because you stuck in the old way, and we're not trying to be stuck in that way. We're trying to build a team different than we ever did before, and because we're trying to do something different, it's coming off as we're trying to. I don't understand what's going on with that part of it, but I believe that we're doing it the right way. It takes time. It's not the quick fix. It's not 1 year. 1 year, next year we ready to go. This year is really the first year that they're about to get in and have a whole camp, everybody in at the same time. The quarterback got a feel for the players that's there. He's not going through an emotional thing of leaving a team that he got drafted by and everything else. This is the first year, to me, is their first year of the rebuild. The very last year was a shit show. Now, sorry about that for the cussing.
Oh, you're good.
Last year was a bunch of craziness. So this year, it's all about putting all of it together. Let us see what you was trying to build from last year. Now, once we see that, then we can start making assumptions about, we got to get starters. We got to get this. We got to get that. We have to build up our depth before we have anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't even know what we have yet.
Okay.
To say that.
I'm not shooting anything down. I'm not shooting anything you're saying down. For me, I had a very simple criteria, which is something that I think that people do. I thought the Ravens, the way the Ravens drafted was be how I would have drafted, where they went for the talent. They didn't go for the need. They didn't go for best player available for need, because that's part of the formula. Apparently, being the captain is another part of the goddamn formula. And apparently, where you line up and rank in Pro Football Focus is another part of Brad Holmes' formula. However,
I feel
four picks to the top 100. If you telling me how many of them out of the four is starters?
Well, see, the thing is, like I said, just like Adam, you can't look at them as starters. They're all going to be rotating. It's no more of this 4 down for this person and this guy on the field the whole time. It's no more of that.
Aaron Donald don't stay for all 4 downs.
I'm saying not all the time.
Wait. Let's go back. Hold on.
You can watch it.
Simmons, the D tackle from the Titans, he's not all 4 downs.
Okay, you're giving me 2 players. I'm saying most teams now.
I can give you more.
Most teams now.
Who was rotating out? Where was Jamar Chase being rotated out on a regular basis, other than when he needed to get some air? When was he being rotated out? I can go down the list.
I'm not talking about a wide receiver, though.
Right, but what I'm saying is
our defensive line is going to be rotating.
Okay.
Our defensive line is going to be rotating because we're trying to get to the quarterback, right?
Okay.
So we got to have depth there, right? Okay, so the linebacker is going to be rotating because, you know what I'm saying, because of the way we have it set up. And truthfully, if you look at the linebacker that we got in the 6th round, put his...
Oh, you're talking about the problem from Jackson State?
I like the problem too, but I'm talking about the one before him.
Rodriguez from Oregon State? Okay, all right.
Now, to me in general, if you put him against the Kobe Dean, I don't see the big difference. Only difference that I do see is he didn't have the line that the Kobe Dean had. He didn't have the defensive line that the Kobe Dean had in front of him.
So
Oklahoma State.
So Tactical Puma says, I wonder why Luke liked the Ravens draft. I was looking at the Ravens draft, and honestly, after they traded away Marquise, well,
you know what they're trying to say. They throwing shots at you for the Hamilton. But
I know. But what I'm saying is I want to explain to him why I like the Ravens draft and why I think they won the draft and why I would have drafted the way that they did, because they traded away Hollywood. They didn't go out and just be like, let's panic up and get a receiver because we got rid of Hollywood. They needed offensive line help. They got a very good center to fix that problem, which I'm cool with. But they went and took the talent. That's what I like.
But here you go. Another thing with that, though, they also wasn't picking that too. So at that point of the draft, you can take the talent because you have to. at that point.
But wait a minute.
If you're picking at 2, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, but the difference is this. The difference is this. The Ravens did not need many of the players that they took. They needed receivers and took tight ends. And just to show you, I'll bring them back just for this purpose. Is Drew, I'm bringing you back because you are not only a Lions fan, but you also love the Ravens. So I'm bringing you back. Drew, can you hear me? All right, there we go. Drew, did the Ravens need any more tight ends?
Tight end factors. I mean, I don't know if they needed them. I know that they love that position.
I mean, listen, I get the idea of love, but did they need more tight ends, or could they have been better off with receivers and maybe some more offensive linemen? Some more
I don't know that. The only thing that I can really say is that I think that if they didn't think they didn't need them, they would not have drafted them.
Okay.
So fair enough. I think that they feel that they wanted those players on their team, and so they took them. I thought 2 was, I mean, my eyebrows went up when they took 2 guys, but I'm not in their war room.
I mean, true, but your eyebrows went up because you're thinking, well, we got Andrew, and I'm drawing a blank on the other damn tight end y'all got named. It'll come to me in a minute.
Boyle?
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, cool. What is the plan with this? But what I'm saying is they went for the talent. They didn't do what I believe we did.
I think that both of these teams, the Ravens and the Lions, both had good drafts. They just approached it in different ways. That's why there's no one strategy.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I just like the way the Ravens did it. Now, I'm going to put you back in the back one time, Drew. Okay. Don't go nowhere.
All right.
That's my point, Will. They did not necessarily need the position that they took, but they was like, hey, this is a talent for me.
Yeah, but that's the same thing they did in the second round. They didn't need them, but it was a talent to them.
Okay.
Right?
I mean,
and I also believe this too. As of Williams, the receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that he fit something that they didn't see in a lot of receivers. How many receivers did you see as a number 1 receiver that plays gunner, kickoff returns, that's willing to do whatever it takes to win? So the same thing that they did see in Amon-Ra St. Brown. You've seen that in a top draft pick, so that's why they went and got him. They seen something in him you don't see in receivers. You don't see in number 1 receivers willing to go out on a field and hit somebody. That's not normal.
That's true. And I also don't see in the NFL them asking Julio Jones to go out there, be gunner, and hit somebody. But I ain't never seen the Lions. Hold on, wait. I ain't never seen the Lions tell Calvin Johnson go play gunner and hit somebody. I've never seen them go, tell Tyreek Hill go play gunner and hit somebody. That's not a thing.
What you're missing is the mentality that they're looking for. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about they're going to have them doing that. I'm talking about them in college, right? I'm talking about in college. I'm not talking about the NFL. In college, he was willing to do whatever it took to get his team to win.
Which is what I love. Win. I love that about him.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
I'm not talking about in the NFL they're going to make him do this and do that. No, I'm saying that in college he was willing to do whatever he can do to help his team win. If he had to be a gunner, if he had to do punt returns, if he had to do whatever it took, he wanted to win. That's the mentality that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the other stuff.
I ain't mad at you, man. I'm just having the conversation with you.
I'm sorry, man. I know I get kind of.
No, listen.
I get kind of out sometimes.
No, we good. It's all love over here.
For sure, for sure.
I ain't there. I got to put you to the back, man. I got to get the other people up in here. So
go ahead, do what you got to do. I got to get with the family. So keep up the good work, man. And I get with you.
100%. Again, people, I'm not willing to kill y'all on them, but I'm willing to support my view. Next up, my man, Coach Mike Jones in the building. What up, though?
What up, though, Luke? What's going on?
All right, Mike, come on, man. Before you get started, give me the grade. What are you grading this draft?
B+.
All right,
B+.
All right, let's talk about it. What's going on? Go ahead and tell me how crazy I am. I gave him a C.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from because it's been a long list of drafts and players that ain't panning out. So I feel you. I mean, wait and see approach. That's how we should really be with every draft class. There really is no draft class that, he nailed it, because you don't know, because they ain't took the field yet. So but as far as your opinion on Jameson Williams, some people are hot and cold about that. Jameson Williams, though, he will be ready for training camp, and I think he might miss the first game, maybe even the second game, but by at least week 3, he'll be on the field as a starter. He might be a starter week 1.
Great. So, that's two starters.
Yeah. Pascal, I think Pascal will play at least 50% of the reps, but I don't think he'll start. Actually, I don't know, because there's not really guys from a 3-13-1 team that you can say, oh, they're starters, and they just
you telling me Pascal is taking Romeo Okor's spot?
Is he going to be 100% healthy?
Hold on. Leave the caveats out. We're going to assume the same assumption you giving Pascal, give the same assumption that everybody's healthy. Now, we can move past the caveats. Right.
Okay.
You telling me Pascal is taking Romeo Okor's spot?
No.
Is he taking Aiden Hutchinson's spot? Because Aiden Hutchinson is starting.
Of course not. No.
Okay. Is he taking Charles Harris' spot?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. Just because he's a draft pick and he's younger. And he can probably give the same, if not more, production than Charles Harris. So yeah. Kirby Joseph, though, I think he'll like you said, Deshaun Elliott, he's got that history, man. Like Kirby Joseph's gonna be in there. Like it's just a matter of time. And I don't know if he'll actually start the season. So I don't think so, but he'll be in there a bulk of the minutes because Elliott always hurt. He always hurt.
But I mean, but that's the only reason he gonna start. They're going to start Elliott, and this is the thing. Understand? Drew says these are caveats. Outlook. You are one telling me caveat. See, he asked me the question: is he healthy? We are all assuming that the other guy's healthy, and that the other, even though I believe he's coming off an injury, I believe Pascal's coming off an injury.
I think even if Elliott stays healthy the whole season, Kirby Joseph's still gonna see the field at least 50% of the snaps. Like at least, you know what I'm saying? Because he's that type of player. He's that ball hawk type of player. So when you look at it, it's probably from them first 4 guys, they're gonna be the Kirby Joseph and my man Pascal probably gonna be on the field at least 50% of the time. So I don't know what your criteria is for starters.
My criteria is this. Here's my criteria. You have to take more than 60% of the snaps in each game.
Okay.
When you go through and you look at it, I want more than it's really higher than that, but the only reason I lowered it is because I do understand that people rotate in and out. So I said to be more balanced and fair, I'll do 60%. But in most cases, I see those top starters, they're playing well over 60%, 75% of those snaps in each one. And that's the thing that we're going to look at. Now, if again, my only criteria is this: my grade can go up once they are starters and they perform, it goes up. Right now, I'm not going to act like Michigan been producing dogs at the D-line spot. I'm not going to act like taking another receiver, which this Lion fan base seems to fall in love with every single year, no matter where you take them at, undrafted or not. They love receivers.
You know what? He did that only because Lion fans was hating on Jared Goff so much. Like that's the only reason. That's the only reason why he took.
And I told fans, he's your quarterback. He's going to be here for 3 years. Yeah, everybody he a bridge. That man going to be here for 3 years or more. So get used to it.
He was not happy with how the Lions Nation took to him. Now they're like, okay, they made excuses for Stafford for 12 years. So we gave him the worst receiving core in the NFL. There's no way they're gonna hold him to playing at high standards, and we did. We all talked trash about Jared Goff, and that made Brad Holmes feel pressure to go and get him a number 1. That's the only reason why. If we would have sat back and we would have realized, okay, his wide receiver 4 became his wide receiver 1 by week 5 on the worst receiving core in the league, then you know what, he probably wouldn't have drafted Jameson Williams. Right. But because we did that and we was acting like that, he did. I feel like that was a fan pressure pick right there. For real.
Again, shout out to Drew. Drew is like, tell me how many people MSU is producing. That's my point. You don't see me sitting there screaming, go and get them. And if they would have did the same thing with an MSU player, and I root for MSU in Texas football, I guarantee you, I'll be saying the same damn thing. Nothing changes for me. You have to. There's certain histories that come with certain things, and I guarantee that the history don't always be a deciding factor necessarily. However, just look at it. I can note in most recent times, Taco Charlton, yeah, he's been 8. Brandon Graham, okay. Okay, right? Quiddy Pay, I can't judge him because it's only been 1 year, so I'm giving him more time to come out. And you just keep going down the list. Like, right. I hate to say it, but Plaxico Borras was a better receiver than Braylon Edwards in the league, and I'll take that to task to anybody.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying it to be. And I understand that there are more Michigan fans because everybody likes Walmart and Myers, and I get it. Right?
Go Blue.
Right, I get it.
But
the reality is this. None of that matters. I'm just giving history to what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But the history is too, though, for Oregon, you could be like, man, Marcus Mariota he's a halfway horrible quarterback. Then Joey Harrington is halfway horrible quarterback, but then you got Justin Herbert. And he's a standout. You got to do the talent evaluation, and I just trust that Brad Holmes.
I don't think. I'm gonna give you your time. I'm actually keeping track of everybody's time. I'm gonna give you your time, but I don't think Joey Harrington was a terrible quarterback. I thought Joey Harrington was put in a terrible situation. When you can tell a quarterback who can take your plays, look at it, and say, "Hey, if you call this play, where's my audible?" Because this guy's just going to come off the edge scot-free as a blitzer, and the head coach tell you, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just throw the ball." He's like, "What? What are you talking about? You didn't draft me because I'm athletic and fast. You drafted me to be a quarterback, and I'm telling you, I'm going to get hit." And that's what destroyed him. And when he went to the next team, that head coach said after that team, apparently because he didn't think that they were serious about it. So that's all I'm saying. And I know that he broke records. I get all of that. I get the record breaking and everything. I mean, wow. That shows you how there haven't been too many people coming out that's producing like that. But we're talking about the second overall pick. And I don't know if y'all agree with this or not. Y'all may think that this is not fair. Which is cool with me. But this is just me looking at it. If Ndamukong Suh as a D tackle gave me 10.5 sacks in his rookie season, too much is given, much is what's the word? Too much is given, much is expected. I need 10.5 or more. I need to see some things. I need to see 10.5 sacks. I need to see tons of pressures because Ndamukong Suh gave me that. And if Ndamukong Suh can do that from the interior, I damn sure better get it from a edge rusher.
I believe he will, especially if Romeo is healthy, fully healthy, and he coming off the edge too. I think Aiden will give you 12. I think he tops out at 12. He bottoms out at 9. So
that's a good start. We can't. Fuck that. 9 is no. This is no. You took him second.
That's his floor. His floor is 9.
Yeah,
and his ceiling is 12.
Listen, I'm expecting to see a whole lot more than 9 sacks. I'm sorry. 9 sacks to me is like, okay. Like 9 sacks to me, I just watched a guy who's a former first-round pick, took in 22nd overall, get 7.5. Yeah, I expect much more.
Right. But then you got to look at, too, the other side. Romeo, if he get his, then, it might be a couple times he get there before Aiden does. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like our pass rush is going to get there this year. That's one thing you can say is that Brad Holmes, even though I think he jumped up a little bit to get my man from Kentucky, he only did that because his next pick wasn't until 90-something. So I think he reached up and got him because he was like, okay, we don't have 66. He's not going to be there until 90-something, so I got to grab him now. That's the only reason why I really did that. So, I mean, Pascal. So Pascal might have been a reach, but he ain't had no choice because he gave up 66.
Well, I get it. Antonio Jenkins says, how you feel right now? No Kyle Hamilton for you, buddy. And you said I was dumb months ago for wanting 800. I don't call people dumb, so I know that wasn't me. I don't call people dumb or stupid. Have you ever heard me call anybody dumb or stupid, Mike? You ever heard that?
I don't think so.
I would call you crazy. I definitely might call you crazy, but I would never call you. I would never call you.
We know why you love.
Or
we know why you love the Ravens draft, Luke. We know.
Listen,
Come on, man.
Listen,
Keep
the
100.
Ravens draft. No, I'm keeping it 100. The Ravens draft to me signify that they understood the talent of this year's draft, and I like the fact that they just went with the talent. They didn't go with best player available for need. We went best player available for need. And see, when you look at the last year's draft, yes, did we need a right tackle? Yeah, we could have used one, but was it one that we needed as a 7th overall pick? No, we could have went so many other ways. We could have went, with Parsons or something like that, and I'm cool. But I wanted the tackle because I wanted to complete the group. And again, that's probably what his mindset is: complete the D line. Great. Right. Where's my starters at? You have 4 picks in the top 100. Where's my starters?
But
that's all I'm saying.
The thing is how many teams will they picks in the first 100 start? Like maybe 2 of those guys will be starters. I don't think everybody's top 100 comes to start. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, and I can't kill you for it. Mike, we over a little bit by a few minutes. I've been giving everybody basically 5 minutes as the clock goes. Holla at you, Luke. Check out Detroit Lions on the Prowl.
Yeah. Holla. Y'all see me on there Freestyle Friday every time we turn around. Appreciate you for coming through, my brother. As always, a fellow DSA member.
You, man.
Yes, sir. Again, I'm going down the list, people. I'm sorry for all the ones who are being patient with me. Thank you. Next up is Dr. Detroit. What's going on, sir?
What's happening, Luke? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. One, I'm happy you on. Let me just give you that one. Can I give you your flowers?
Well, thank you.
You have been rocking with me for a long time. You have insulted me, loved me, insulted me again, and that feels like some family shit. So I want to give you your flowers, sir. Before we go any further, give me the grade that you're giving for this draft.
Yeah, I'm at an A-.
Okay, let's talk about it.
And I'm going to tell you, it is not what I expected, Luke. And I'm kind of like in the same boat with you, because what I expected is what the Ravens or the New York Football Giants did. And I know that's what you kind of expected too. Like, that's what you were expecting out of this draft.
What do you mean?
What the Giants did. Look at who the Giants took. Look at who the Ravens took.
The Giants took Kayvon Thibodeau.
Uh-huh.
Who did it come second? Then I got to look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, you look at the names. You'll go, yeah, I was calling for all these. Oh, the Ravens. I was calling for all these players too.
No. It's not. It's
in there. I wrote them down.
Listen. It's not you're calling for the players. That's not. And the Giants, I didn't even say they had a good draft. I thought the Ravens had a really good draft because of how
I think they both did.
But the Giants, I think, to be honest with you, I didn't really look at the Giants draft. I'm looking at it right now. I knew they took Kayvon Thibodeau.
Dude, it's a great draft. It's what I expected the Lions to do.
Let me see. They took Thibodeau, Neal, so they got a blocker. They needed a tackle.
Yeah,
but they took a blocker. Then they took Wendell Robinson. That's not the short dude. That's not the 5'8" dude, is it?
I think he's a slot, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. It was one of them guys that everybody was hyped on. I was like, but he's like 5'8". I can't remember what the hell his name was.
Yeah. I think he's the slot guy.
Okay, and then Joshua. So okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 3 starters.
Yeah.
I'm so far I'm okay with what I see that the Giants did.
The Ravens for sure. When I seen the Ravens draft, I was like, yeah, Luke is going to be on talking about what the Ravens did.
It was nuts to see them take something they didn't need. I'm like, damn, they need this. Nope, hold my beer.
Yeah,
like that's what it was for me. Like, hold my beer, and I'm like, so what are they doing? They were taking the talent, and I was like, I get it.
I think we did. I think we took the talent too. Here's what I think. Here's what I think, though, Luke. I think what it is Brad Holmes isn't drafting a quarterback because he knows the second he even drafts a third-string quarterback, the clock starts for him. So he could push that off. But I say also that he doesn't take a quarterback next year, the clock starts for him, because that tells me you have your quarterback, right?
Right. If he don't take one, if he don't.
Well, he took a wide receiver, so if you don't take one and you're not looking to replace Goff with it, then Goff is your quarterback, and you're being judged on Goff.
Right.
If he selects another quarterback next year and they slowly start to do a transition, well, then you're graded on that quarterback, which buys him more time. That's what I think they're up to, in my opinion.
No, and listen, again, I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
That's why but what I'm saying is you're not entirely like your logic isn't just batshit crazy on this one.
On this one, that's right. Say it again. On this one,
it isn't batshit crazy because, dude, you can't tell me that when and I'll tell you why. Because when they picked it and we're going to move up, who did everybody think they were going to draft?
You want to know who I thought they was going to draft for real?
Hamilton?
For real? No, I thought they would take. I thought they was going to take Devin Lloyd.
Oh, I thought Devin Lloyd, Malik Willis, Hamilton, or Davis.
I thought they were going to take Devin Lloyd. I was like, yeah, they're going to probably go linebacker here because there's
only a handful of players in that spot, but the majority of Lions fans thought Malik Willis, and I thought, hey, this is a great spot to make fans happy. Grab Hamilton. You got your pass rusher. You got your guy in the back. This defense is almost fixed. You get a good linebacker, and hey, we're looking really good. But I think Drew just nailed it. Like, he wants to make sure that Goff gets every opportunity that he can, and that's why we moved up to pick a wide receiver that can make Goff look better. That's my opinion.
I mean, and I just, like I said, for me, I really went into it, and I've been given the same criteria the whole time, which is you got 5 picks in the top 100. I need at least 3 to 4 starters.
Right.
And that's because if you look at this team, I never thought that we were losing games because of talent. I thought we were losing games because of injuries. There was a lot of people injured that could help us, like Romeo Accord, Trey Flowers was freaking hurt. Obviously Okuda was hurt. Hell, Amani got hurt. So we were missing a lot of people. And I'm saying I need people who are healthy. We go out and draft the guy who was hurt. I think we got 2-3 guys who were hurt. The tight end, which I hated that freaking pick. Because to me, even at that point where you had that tight end, you could have still took another linebacker. Hell, you could have took another safety. You could have took a D tackle. You could have took those things. But I feel like when this is all said and done, we gave out all these A's and A minuses and stuff. When it's all said and done, 3 years from now, we'll be talking to the same thing we did with Eric Ebron. We could have had Odell Beckham Jr. We could have had Aaron Donald. And we do this every single time where we go back. The only time we never said who we could have had was the Calvin Johnson draft. But every draft after that, we could have had is what the conversations have been. And that's where I'm just like, look, we're going to probably end up being in that space again. That's going to suck. But the reality is I can't give this draft any higher than a C until I see somebody on the field starting and performing and having an impact.
Well, anybody giving a grade right now is an ass face. I mean, that's just such a premature grade.
And I really don't want to give it a grade, but it's part of the culture, so whatever.
Right, I get it, and that's why I say, oh, hey, I like what they did. I guess it's the showmanship I'm really grading. It's not, it's not the players because they haven't taken a snap yet, so who knows? Anyone saying they know is silly.
And that was my take even when it came to Jared Goff. Like, can we see him take a snap for the Lions first? After 3 games, I was like, yep, wave the white flag. You saw
you gave him a shot. You did. You did. So hey, I'm gonna get off and let these other guys go.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks for coming on, Dr. Detroit.
Yeah,
all right. Look, again, I know for some people they're like, hey, I can't believe you're giving this draft a C. I can't believe you're being so hard on this draft, but every year that I remember when majority of the fans, this is one of those years when majority of the fans was happy about the draft. 3 years from now, we were all talking about who we could have had. And that to me is something that I don't want to have happen. And I guarantee you the minute the receiver gets hurt and is not able to be on the field as much, everybody's going to be, oh, you took a hurt receiver, only the Lions, same old Lions. This is what they do. But every year we give them good grades. And when everyone hated the draft, they performed, which is strange to me. So let me get to my next guest. We got up my man, Midwest Lion. Again, I am going in order and wish y'all popped in here. I'm writing them down as I go. Midwest Lion, what up, though?
Hey, what's going on?
All right. Now, so hold on. Let me answer this. I got to Luke, the guy you wanted at 2 didn't even go top 10. So what's your point? Like I don't understand why in 2022 we still doing this. Did you see all the people who went undrafted? Do y'all remember Justin Ross? How everybody thought he was going to be a first round pick, and then he got hurt and had that spinal fusion thing, and he's now undrafted. You look at the undrafted people who come out and have been Hall of Famers, from Kurt Warner to Warren Moon to John Randall to Wes Walker. The list goes on. So no matter where they went, no one cares. I don't care who you take first overall. Jamarcus Russell went first overall. It don't mean that he was the best player in that draft first overall. What it means is somebody felt confident enough to take him. And at the end of the day, he's another draft buff that goes into the box of the Raiders. We only care when they work out, and that's just the fact. So whether he went top 2, top 10, top 20, top 37, we will still be sitting here watching games trying to figure out, hey, did we get the best player in hindsight? And that's the reality of it. What you got for me today? Oh, wait, Midwest, I need you to give me a grade for the draft.
Hey, I went an A, man.
All right, let's talk about it. Give me what you got.
Okay, so I heard you talking about starters. I get what you're saying, but this modern NFL is mostly sub-package, nickel and dime. So you've got very rarely in today's NFL, from what I've seen, do you rarely have two of the same safeties on the field at the same time. You're running a lot of 3 safety looks. You're running a lot of 2 linebacker looks. You're running a lot of, I mean, there's so many different sub packages. And if you look at, I was actually looking at after each game, the percentage of snaps played, a lot of those slot corners and even dime corners in some cases were playing 50 up to 60% of the snaps. So, and looking at the draft, I see, well, I'll tell you this. I could be absolutely nuts. And if I am, hey, that's all right. Crucify me, whatever. But Malcolm Rodriguez, I didn't know a whole lot about him until I started watching. The first game I saw of him was the national championship. The bowl game against Notre Dame. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan, but all I see was this linebacker just popping off the tape, just bam, 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 always in the backfield. So I went back and watched him a little bit. And I see a Zach Thomas. You remember Zach Thomas? I know a lot of these folks are a little bit older. A little bit younger than we are. But Zach Thomas for the Miami Dolphins, he was 5'10", 5'11", something like that. 240, or was it 230 pounds?
Okay.
Something like that. Dude, I mean, man, he wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the tallest.
I think
he wasn't the most.
4.52, but again, that's still, none of that bothered me, because like you said, you can look at the games and see, oh, he jumped off the tape, right? But
yeah, I mean, he was, every single time I saw a highlight, he was there. Every time I saw him line up, and he was in the backfield. He was even his skills in coverage I was impressed with, because most linebackers can't cover the middle of the field worth a darn.
That's
and
fair.
He was everywhere.
That's fair. Technical Puma says, Luke, if we already had plenty of talent, why did we need starters from this draft? Because we lost some of those people. Trey Flowers, you got rid of him, as you probably should, but he's not here no more, and you replaced him with Hutchinson. Good. He's going to start. Because if it would have been Trey Flowers and Romeo Okwara as our starters out there, and Charles Harris was going to be the rotating guy. But Romeo Okwara and Trey Flowers got hurt, so then Charles Harris became more of a full-time starter. So that's why you're trying to find starters at that position. You keep going down the list, you do the same thing for every one of them. When you look at our linebacking core, we literally got down to people who we had walked in as an undrafted free agency, and people like Anthony Pittman and stuff, because we didn't have linebackers. And so that, to me, is another example of why we needed those starters. The talent wasn't necessarily the issue for me, but we had a lot of people who were hurt and who are no longer here. And while we did bring in people like Jared Davis, who's going to play inside backer with Alex Anzalone, yeah, you still need some people to come in here and start, especially if you're going to take them 2nd overall, 12th overall, which would have been 34 and 32, but ended up being 46. And then coming at 97, yeah, you got 4 players in the top 100. I just need 3 of them. Give me 3 starters out of that. I'm happy. But go ahead, Midwest Lion. I want to let you.
So I'll say Aiden Hutchinson is the starter.
All right.
Jameson Williams is a starter because I could be absolutely nuts, but I think he'll be ready to go by training camp. I mean, if you watch today's technology, I mean, it's not the same as it was 20 years ago. These guys
I
are coming
agree.
back from ACL injuries.
I agree.
Oh, like, like 4. I mean,
no, neighborhood Lion fan, get back here. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Who was that? That was Cam Akers that tore his Achilles, and he came back.
He looked at bad though. It was heroic, but he looked at very bad.
He might have got rushed back too quickly, but there's a big difference between an Achilles and an ACL. But at the same time, Kirby Joseph. I mean, when I saw him, I watched a lot of Avery. Shout out to you, Avery. Giovanni's podcast, and he was just gushing about Kirby Joseph, and I was like, so I went back and I was seeing, hey, what's all this about? And I was like, wait a minute here. He could take Deshaun Elliott's spot this year, not because he's injured, but because he's just better. I mean, when we drafted Tracy Walker, did we expect him to take anybody's spot? But he immediately went in there and he worked. I mean, we saw the talent.
What happened was he got in after somebody got hurt, and he just never gave it up. And that to me is a good thing too, where you basically take something and never give it back.
Yeah,
like I get it. But again, I'm giving y'all my take. Nobody can be 100% right. It's just not possible, and you should not try to be. But God, when I walk away from this, I just needed to see people who can come in and have impact. If you draft those guys who are rotating in depth guys in later rounds, not 2, not 12, not 46. Hell, we drafted a guard in the 3rd round who came in, started, immediate impact. That's what you have to do.
I think Malcolm Rodriguez is a starter. He reminds me so much of Zach Thomas. No, I'm saying a starter on. I'm saying he reminds me so much of Zach Thomas or Ludden Fletcher. He's just an undersized linebacker that can ball.
But we probably won't get him as a full-time starter until next year. So, and at that point, I'm just even more irritated because I need for my people to be on the field. They underplay and didn't give a lot of snaps to Barnes. They underplayed and didn't give a lot of snaps to Aleem McNeil originally. Levi came back, but he still couldn't break through to take nobody's spot. And when they took him in the 2nd round, a lot of people was confused about it. I was just like, I get why they got him, but I would have took the other D tackle from UCLA, who I had rated higher, and whose name I cannot say because apparently the Nigerian movement is for real, and I can't pronounce these damn names. I just can't. So shout out to Africa.
Yeah, we took an undrafted tackle that had a Nigerian name, and I couldn't say his name to save my life.
I'm telling you, I can't. I'm not. Yeah, I don't even attempt to try it no more. But I do get what you're saying. If you believe it's a beat, that's cool. For me, I look at how things age, and I remember how excited the fan base was when we got Okudah at 3. He's a shutdown corner. I was told I was stupid. That video had over 100 dislikes and everything. And people told me I was out my batshit mind, that he was worth a top 10 pick. And now everybody's trying to make excuses and saying, well, he's been hurt. And but when he's been playing, he was getting cooked left and right. And don't tell me it was just the Packers game. I watched the Panthers come in with a bunch of nobodies and a quarterback that had a name like He Hate Me, bust our ass. And I don't want to act as if though that's not the case. But I do get what you're saying, Midwest.
Hey, bud, I can't knock you for the Okudah thing. I mean, I ate the rat poison on that one, too. I thought he was what we all thought he was. And then when I saw him get cooked against, I think it was the Packers or the Cardinals, whatever the game was, and he's just literally getting beat by 10 yards, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, if I got a chance to sit in front of Brad Holmes and Dorsey, and Brad Holmes did some things to me that very concerning in a lot of ways, but I'll get into that later. But if I was sitting in front of them, I would say exactly what I said, and I would tell them, hey, who's starting on this team? Who did you draft that's starting? Because I'm having a hard time at picturing it. That's what I would say. Midwest, I'll give you a few more minutes. You got anything else you want to add to the topic, brother?
Oh, I didn't know if you'd had a chance to peruse I know it doesn't mean a lot in the grand scheme of things, but any of the undrafted free agents you saw we picked up that you think even have potential to take
you know what?
spot.
Honestly, I only saw the original few that we picked up, and I posted them, and I have not watched enough games to comment on them. I can't.
Gotcha.
I just haven't seen enough for me to be like, oh yeah, like the guy Pimpleton. Like I may have watched 2 games of his, and
from the Chippewas.
Yeah, and in the 2 games that I've seen so far, I'm like, okay. That's all I can say. I see some things, but I'm like, okay. So, but I don't have enough information to talk on them right now.
I was thinking, the only thing I was thinking from looking in that list, I mean, and this is very preliminary, that running back, that he's not going to make it. We already have 5 running backs under contract. But as far as the tackle, I think they brought him in. They paid him $170,000 guaranteed, which I know, undrafted free agents, very few of them actually make the team. I get that. Right. But I think to give him $170,000 guaranteed for an undrafted UDFA, I mean, shoot. I mean, I think he's trying to bring him in to take Matt Nelson's spot at swing.
I mean, again, I ain't watched enough to say it, but I've seen them pay big money to people before and it not mean much or nothing. So,
oh, for sure. I mean, Javon McKinley was paid $100,000 and he still ended up on the practice squad. That's what I'm saying. I get what you're saying.
Like I ain't gonna sit there. And again, keep in mind, Dan, I agree with you. You cannot fill all your holes in one draft. I totally agree. I'm not even saying that you need to do it this draft. But if you were to tell me, could they have found a starting receiver? Could they have found a starting safety, a starting edge rusher? And there go my 3. You telling me they couldn't find 3 of those starters in this draft with 5 picks in the top 100? Well, top 97. I don't even got to say top 100. Top 97. They couldn't find 5 stars. They couldn't find 3 of those starters. It's no way. If you took Hudson, and I would say, okay, cool, you took Hudson, and you come back and you take in the next pick, you come back and let's say you don't trade up, but you got 32, and you took, say, a receiver like Pickens out of Georgia, y'all would have the same reaction to taking the receiver out of Georgia, Pickens. Y'all would have not had no upset energy whatsoever. And if they come back at 34 and they took, say, Brisker, y'all would have still given the same A grade. It wouldn't have changed nothing. But you would have had 2 third-round picks where you could have then said, hey, they added more linebackers, more edge rushers, and you probably would have still got Pascal in the 3rd. Probably. Who knows? But I'm just saying, if those were the 3 things you wanted to fill and you had 5 of those picks in the top 97, then turned it to 4, and you still didn't walk out with 1.5 starters, yeah, I'm a little suspect of that. That's all I'm saying. And Easy does it. I do agree that Pascal he's probably my favorite pick, but I still probably, I think he's going to be the most versatile of them all. But again, it's a C draft for me. Midwest, appreciate you for coming in. I want to get the other people in. You can hang in the back until we go in the community. And I appreciate you for rocking with me, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
All right, next up, I'm going down the list. So Rumble, be patient with me. Gunner, be patient. Crimson, be patient. Nomis, you are next after Friendly Neighborhood Lions fan. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Luke? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hey, appreciate you for coming on, man. You have been rocking with me for a while, so that's awesome, man. Before we go any further, give me your grade for this draft.
I'm gonna go C+ because I still trust Brad Holmes and everybody there, but they haven't played yet, so either they're all gonna have a great year, or they might all get injured. Who knows? I'm praying no injuries, but they got to play first. So,
right, they got to touch the field. I got to see impact and performance because I can tell you right now, they was, to be honest, before injury tossed them into the starting lineup, they was sleeping on freaking Amon-Ra St. Brown. They wasn't trying to let him get in for real. They were sleeping on him, and so to me, he should have been starting day one, and I was screaming about that. Mm-hmm. So
I got real excited when we traded up for 12. I was hoping Hamilton, but they didn't go with that. They didn't go that route. So.
I mean, I thought they traded up for a linebacker. I really did. I didn't
that think could work too.
Because the reason I said that was because I said they may be looking at it like at 46, I can still get a Jaquan Brisker, right? They they probably thinking like that. And when they went receiver, I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but wait a minute, ain't that the guy that got hurt in the championship game? Mm-hmm. And then I saw Nakobe Dean just take a slide, and I'm like, oh, okay, right?
Would it be same old Lions since we took an injured player, or does that not same old Lions? I don't know.
It's not same old Lions per se for me. It'll be same old Lions if it don't work out. And I'll tell you what I mean by that, meaning that you got so brass to jump up and take a player who yielded nothing for you.
Yeah.
That's where you start to question it, because the truth is this: if you go back through most of these drafts, the top receivers taken did not end up being the best receivers in those drafts. A lot of those receivers were second, third, fourth round picks.
Yep.
So, but that's just my thing. What is your favorite pick?
I have to see them play. I wanted Hamilton instead of Hutchinson, so I just need to see them play. Whoever the best, I guess, has the best on-field performance is my favorite player in the draft. Other than that, I didn't care who they picked besides Hamilton, but the Ravens got him. So, I have to see them all play before I pick a favorite.
And that's fair to me. Which is what I'm saying. I'm saying right now, my initial reaction is a C. And if they go out, ball out, and perform, I'll move my grade up.
Yep.
I'll be the first one to admit I was wrong. But go ahead.
So you're saying you still trust Brad Holmes and everybody after this?
I do still trust Brad Holmes, but I also got some concerns with Brad Holmes because I think he's impulsive. He tried to trade up. He tried to trade up last year. Dorsey told him to chill out. He tried to do it twice last year. He said in his press conference that there was a few guys he thought about trading up for in this draft, and then he did trade up, and everybody want to say, "Oh, we gave us the 3rd round pick." Well, okay.
We could have used that on someone that we already,
right. And if especially if you're going to just get a depth guy in the 2nd round,
right? That I didn't even hear of until we drafted him. So, but I don't really pay that much attention to the college players during the season, anyway. So that could be on me.
Again, the research part of it needs to still happen. No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Yeah.
But in the end, we still need to just call it what it is. I don't like how we are always quick to shoot down our division opponents. Drafts all the time. I remember I was arguing when they took David Montgomery. Oh my God, they took a running back. I said that boy's a dog, and all he did was run all over us. It
seems like a lot of people used to run all over us.
I mean, they do, and but the reason they was doing that is because we had so many injuries, and they dumped a lot of bad contracts so far, which is cool. But overall, I see draft for me. I mean,
what do you think they're going to do with Okudah? Do you think they're going to put him like Will Harris and make up a position for him where he plays safety as well as corner, or
they're going to have to? You got to find some kind of way to make this guy work.
But do we trust Brad Holmes and everybody to do that though? Is the question.
I trust Brad Holmes to admit if it's a mistake and get somebody up out of here. I mean, he did the same thing with Pyramid. He's done the same thing where he with Williams, and he's admitted that he was wrong in those approaches and stuff. And so I'm cool with that. But
do you think there's any trade value for Okudah if we trade him?
No.
Not at this point, right?
No. I mean, what are you gonna tell him? What do you tell him on the phone?
7th round, please.
Seriously. Why give up any capital when I can just you're gonna have to cut dude and I'll take him.
And then take him for free, or cheap.
Yeah, I trade value. I don't see any of that for him at all. But I do.
Maybe if they traded Okudah and Will Harris, we can get a 3rd round pick. Who knows? Maybe a desperate team will take both of them off our hands.
Well, we'll see. My man Terrence says, "Hey Luke, what you think about the front 4 with Hutch and Romeo on the ends, Levi and McNeil in the middle, and use the Pascal and Julian as rotational pieces at the end, or do you start Pascal?" I think Pascal gonna need to start at this point. I think this is them saying Levi ain't where we thought he was. This to me tells me that they don't. I think this is the more of saying that Levi ain't he's not where he should be at this point.
Or does Pascal take Brocker's spot?
I think he'll take Brocker's spot, period, because Brockers is probably played his last season this season. But that's not the point. I just think for this season, I wanted more. Like I said, I just wanted more. We coming up on our time. I'll give you a few more minutes. You got anything else you want to add, brother? I want to make sure I give everybody their fair shake.
No, I'm good. I love the show. Love what you do, and keep doing what you're doing.
Man, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm really trying to work hard to still give you the truth as it is in terms of sports, but also to spread the message that, you know, we as a people can do so much more than we thought. I had a chance to talk with somebody, a female who shared her story of her attempted suicide. And it was very telling in how she felt and where she was at and things like that. And if anybody want to listen to a good story, go to YouTube, simply type in Eric Kramer, where he talks about his attempted suicide, where he actually put a bullet in his head and lived. So just putting it out there for the people who want to check it out. But thank you for always supporting me, friendly neighborhood Lions fan. One of the dopest names on YouTube. I'm like, I don't know how he came up with that, but that was really
I can tell you real quick if you want to know the story.
Give me the story.
All right, my original name I had on here was the T3 Scott, something stupid combining my names, and I made this comment about Kerryon Johnson moving to fullback, and you shut it down as you should have. But then I'm thinking, okay, I need to change my name. I always hated this. I love Spider-Man, but I can't just put Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man because that's probably copyright.
Probably.
But I love the Lions, so I'll just put Friendly Neighborhood Lions fan. So it worked.
Hey, I like it. I always liked it, and every now and then you hear me say Friendly Neighborhood Spider. I always do. I'm like, damn it, my brain just want to say it, but I do appreciate you support me, man. Let me get to my next guest, and hopefully you hang around.
Sure.
All right. Again, people, I'm not killing y'all to come on here and tell me what y'all feel. I'm just going down the list. Next up is my man's Crimson Shadow. No, sorry, Numbers J. You're next. Man, I skipped one. I scratched this damn ink pen. Numbers J is next. Numbers J is in the building. What up, though, Numbers?
What up, though, bro?
Hey, listen, you laughing, so either you agree or you finish shit all on me. But either way it goes, it's all love and I respect it. Tell me your grade for this draft.
My grade is I think we need to go down to Allen Park and see what the fuck they do in that front office.
Oh, no. Give me a grade first before you get into it. Give me the grade.
Listen, I'll give him this. I'm going to be nice today and give it a C.
Okay, let's talk about it. Why are you giving it a C?
You know what? Like I said, even at some point, I heard you even say that you figure it came down to two players at 2. And it was Aiden and it was Kyle Hamilton. And I was cool with the pick, believe it or not. It is not about all the Michigan crap. I don't get into that. The whole reason why I was cool with it, because as I started seeing the way the draft was falling down, and then I realized they traded back up, I said, this is a linebacker or a safety. Either way you go about it, you can't mess this up. And then they decided to mess this up and get a wide receiver. And the implication that sent the message real cold-hearted to me. This franchise still sees it that it's not as valuable to invest fully loaded into your defense that's been the worst in the league since Sue has been gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the worst defenses before he got here. And the fact that y'all still do that shows a lack of responsibility for y'all building this team for in this organization. It's crap. And at the end of the day, you know what? You can say this. Whoever we wanted on defense at 12 could be a bust. But the point of it is not to go in thinking that person's going to fail. It's about taking the chance to invest into where you are weak at. If you would have said passed on Kyle Hamilton, took Devin Lloyd, okay, cool, because it's a big weakness. We need a player that has the potential to come in and upgrade the area. That's why you draft. You go through all the defense. You build on offense. Yeah, you don't just get receivers and running backs. You get the offensive line. That's why we took Sewell last year. You could have easily got a receiver at 46. You had options at 46. You could have traded
a lot of them.
You could have traded down. You could have took a receiver there. You could have got all you could out of those picks. And wherever you did at 177, I wouldn't even gave a damn because you'd have had a player in every position on the defense. That's what it was all about.
You'd have had one at each spot from the middle on up. So let's say, for example, if it is Deshaun Elliott the starter, which I think it is, and you got Deshaun Elliott and Tracy Walker, you got your two safeties, you feel good about them, okay, cool. But you got another linebacker because both Alex Anzalone has been hurt the last couple of years. Then you talk about Jared Davis has been hurt the last couple of years. And then Derek Barnes, you don't give him enough damn snaps to play anyway. But when he do play, I seen him make plays, and I seen him make mistakes too. But I seen him make plays.
Injury bug too.
And then once you go from there, then let's talk about it. Who's the next damn linebacker, right?
Right.
And you remember for like 3-4 seasons, I've been screaming we need a safety, and we still need a safety. And then I was screaming we need linebackers, and then we finally took one. But then by the time we took the damn linebacker, which was this year, I was like, about damn time we need linebackers, and we still need more. And I know that we're going to play different schemes and run things differently. I get all of that. That's cool. But in the end, I'm thinking every good defense I've ever seen, including when the Lions had one, you had a dog at each position and up the middle, whether it be D tackle, middle linebacker, and safety. They was there. The Lions had that. They had that with Glover Quin. They had that with DeAndre Levy and the other dude. I can't think of his damn name.
Steven
Tulloch, thank you. And then you had Sue. Now I'm looking, I'm saying, okay, you might have the D line, but do you have the middle linebacker now? And yes, I love Jared Davis. Don't get me wrong. But my concern with Jared Davis is, can he be healthy?
Speaking of that, when we sitting out here getting destroyed in the middle, and I'm gonna go back to those Brandon Smith haters too out there.
You see where he went, right?
Oh,
the Panthers.
Yep.
I'm gonna leave it alone though. I believe that one alone. That one really pissed me off. you talk about upsetting somebody. That one did it.
Yeah,
I was like, okay. So, but
and the trip part.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say this is that so Brad Holmes, you come out here and say that you wanted game changers, and I love the Pascal pick. I do. I love the Pascal pick, just not where it's at. I don't have a problem with none of the players they draft. I don't think these guys are bad players. It's the situation where they're coming to and how they're getting picked. That's the problem. If you tell me we could have, let's just say we chose to not trade up at all, and let's say we stayed at 32, but let's say we took Brisker or Singh, right? And then we come back at 66, and you say you decide to go ahead and take Pascal, cool. That's a third round pick, and you can stay around that third round so we can start getting to that rotation, because that 2 first and that second should have been guaranteed starters straight through the defense.
Okay.
You can make them move like that, but you traded up to get them, and then we're sitting here trying to figure out how we're going to use these guys. It don't make sense. And I guess this leads to my next question is, who's going to get traded and cut from this team over the next few months? Because this roster looks a little bit overbloated.
Well, I think certain positions are going to get blew up, obviously, but we know that whoever got drafted last year in the first couple of rounds is safe. But I saw a comment earlier to talk about that Pascal is taking Levi's spot, and that again, that's just him. Then Brad Holmes admitting that he effed up on Levi, and that should still go on his record, respectfully. But I don't know. I don't know. I know that most of the guys that he took, and I didn't realize this until I think it was that fan man. Where he at? Right here. He noticed this pattern. He went back and looked at last year's draft and noticed that all the guys that they took in last year's draft had high PFF grades. And I was like, what? And then he looked at this year and he said they did the same thing. And I said, oh my God. And it could be a coincidence, but I'm not too big on coincidences. You know what I mean? And the fact that when you look at what he said, he never lied to us. And then in terms of the people that they visit with, they took one player from the Senior Bowl, which is something that they usually don't do. They usually take multiple people from the Senior Bowl. They took one. Right. And in terms of the visits, the players that they visit with, this is the major part I realized about Brad Holmes. It's who he don't talk about that they're going to take. When you look at the visit list, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Eric Johnson. There's still some type of stuff here. You see that they talk to a lot of receivers and a lot of edge rushers. So you knew they were going to go edge. I think they talked to over over 10 edges who they had in for visits and stuff. But mainly when I look at what they talked to a lot of safeties too, and they took one. But they took Kirby Joseph, who they met with. They took Aiden Hutchinson, who they met with. They did not meet with Pascal.
Yeah, or Houston.
I knew they were taking Houston. Just saying.
And you know what this draft case to me too?
What's that?
It looks so familiar. We talked about this all last year. You did it. I was watching every show you was doing last year. And I was thinking the same thing. We both kept researching the Rams and their draft patterns. This looks like how they would do it.
Yeah.
Rams get in that situation where they'll take a position and go in that area like 3 or 4 times in one class. And you're just like, what are y'all doing? Y'all got other. I don't know why they come with that same pattern over here.
I mean, I can tell you this point. We're going to get to a point where fans going to get mad because we ain't going to have no first-round picks.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can get – they're going to be using those all the time like gangbusters, but I get it. Yep. Dan Spano says, are you saying you think Brad Holmes based his entire draft on Pro Football Focus grades? It just seems very suspect. I'm going to be paying attention for the next draft because I'm literally going to go and look at all the top college players from Pro Football Focus, not because I care about Pro Football Focus, but I want to see, and I'm going to see how many he drafts. And if a lot of those people get drafted, I'm sorry, that's a very quick, easy tell. And I hate it. And again, shout out to this man right here for figuring that out. You know. But he says, I consolidated my home's draft strategy, high scoring PFF or other similar sites. Guys who have high intangibles form captains are a plus. And yeah, if you're a captain, high PFF grade, and you got high intangibles, which is what I go by intangibles. That's a big part for me. That seems to be the formula. So shout out to that fan, man. So I'm gonna be paying attention.
Yeah, because he been saying he be preaching PFF all the time since he got here, and I'm like, why you keep bringing him up? And then this leader stuff and this character thing, I'm like, okay, it's a pattern here.
It's definitely one of those there, man. I got 1, 2, 3 more people. You want to hang it back for me, or you got a little bit more? All right, just hold tight for me. I thank you for being so patient. Next up was Crimson Shadow, who for the first time has said he can't believe he had to come on here and get at me. But before he get at me, Crimson, give me your grade for this draft.
For me, B+. I would definitely say that. This wasn't a bad draft at all. Really, if you're going to make me say anything on the starters, you want to blame anything, blame the Trinity Benson trade. We didn't have a 4th-round pick, so you can blame Holmes on that one. So
yeah. But before you get going, you gave it a B, you said?
Yeah, I give it a B+.
Okay, a B. All right, and you said you disagree with me.
I do disagree with you.
All right, talk to me.
Here's the thing. There's one thing that we're looking at here. When it comes down to it, there's one major issue we have with our edges that I can't believe you're not addressing this. It kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Okay.
Who do you have on these edges that can actually run block? Romeo, can he run block? No. Trey could. He's gone. You gonna trust his brother? No. I can't trust him. They can pass. They could definitely run the pass, but if you get a freaking running back, where'd he go? Where'd he go? I don't know.
Well, in all fairness, Crimson, that's what Levi was supposed to be for.
Yeah, man. He's running a 4-3.
He's supposed to be that. John Pennicini is supposed to be that. You're talking about those guys being that. Michael Brockers is supposed to be a run-stopping defender.
Yeah. Man, that's the thing. You need a lot of run stop. Do you know how many running backs we have in this league? Like in the and just in the NFC North alone? Everybody in the NFC North has a running back.
What about all the deep passes?
Again, you've got Elliott and Kirby, and if you're going to ask me who's going to be the starter, it's going to be rotational, because if you're running Elliott full time, you're going to break him. You'd be a fool to run Elliott full time. There's no way you could. He's a rotational guy. They're going to rotate between Kirby and Elliott. I can promise you that. I think Kirby at the end is going to be the main starter, and I have high hopes for Kirby. You know I was high on Kirby. You know that. I love the Kirby pick.
Right.
Even though EA was disagreeing with me. But EA hates everything, so what else is new? And as for Hutch and Passini or whatever his name is, I just blanked there for a second. A lot of stuff going on. The thing about it is, can I see Hutch starting? Easy, yes. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing. I do agree with you about Michigan edges. You know I'm not high, I wasn't the highest on him. I wasn't high in Kayvon either. You know this from my experience. You could have picked Kyle. You could have picked Kayvon. The top 10 was a really crap top 10. We all agree with this. So Hutch was probably the safest. Kayvon had the highest bust potential. We know this. So you had to start with something. As for the wide receiver, here's the thing. You only gave up a third. You still had number 12. You moved up 20 spots. That was a fleecing, by the way. That was very good. If you would have traded, like, say, a future, like the first round of next year, that would have been a terrible trade. That, and I would agree with you. You moved up 20 spots for a third, basically, and you were at 46, not too far off from 33. And I think Josh has definitely he's got ability to pass rush, and at least if anything, if he can't really pass rush, at least we can get run block, because that is the one thing. That's another thing. Yeah, we've been killed on the deep ball, but we've also been murdered on the running game. You know the Vikings have killed us on that for years.
We only have 4 games. We only have 4 games where we got murdered on the run game out of 17. Them the only 4 games where they was like, we ain't got to throw, we gonna run it down your throat. But the rest of them, we did pretty decent in slowing the run down. But the 4 games, we have 4 games: the 49ers, the Eagles, the Bengals, and the Seahawks.
All teams are pretty good running games right there.
Yeah,
Especially,
I mean, so
if you want to, and you've said it before, if you want to do the playoffs, what do you want to do? You're going to want to stop their run game, right? Because that's the one way that wins your playoff.
Right, yeah, because in the playoff, they run the ball. That's true. I don't, but according to this fan base, we only win in 6 or 7 games anyway. So playoffs is not the conversation.
Here's my thing about Jameson Williams. Even if he busts, you didn't trade much to get him. And
that's bull.
I don't, like I said, you know my feelings about wide receiver. He was my favorite wide receiver out of all this. You've seen my mock drafts. I know you have. And I like
I have.
And
but we can't say even if he busts, it don't count. See this, and this is where I love Adam, but Adam just didn't want Kyle Hamilton. I get that. He just didn't want Kyle Hamilton.
I would have preferred Kyle Hamilton.
But to say if they just bust, no, if they bust, that matters. Because if a receiver busts, there's nowhere else you can use him at. There's no adjustments that you can make. At that point, he's useless to you.
What tells me something about his injury is he says he'll be ready for training camp.
Cool. Are you going to be ready for week 1?
For an ACL guy, an ACL isn't as bad as it used to be.
If he's ready for week 1. Okay. If he is,
crazier things, man.
If he is, then we good. I ain't mad at that.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm not being fair. Steve-O says, I don't understand all the focus on having rookies start the season. Again, too much is given, much is expected. And the reason that the draft is set up the way it's set is for you to have a chance to take a stellar talent that can come in and help you improve upon your record. So if you're taking that stellar talent to sit and you're taking them for the next year, who does that? You rarely see that being the case, especially with edge rushers and stuff like that. And when the Packers did it, they did it after they tried to give him a chance to start, and Gary just couldn't get anything popping. So they was like, we got to just ease him in a little bit slower. But the reality is you're picking 2nd overall. Yeah, he needs to be on the freaking field. Period.
And I can see him getting on the field. And I could see him and Levi. You can have rotational guys out there. That's a lot of times in the NFL. You can rotate, especially with 3rd down. Levi definitely can do it as well. I could see maybe possibly Levi going to D tackle, possibly. He's big enough and could do it. There's a lot of fun stuff you could do with this. It's a pretty deep core. I mean, I would have preferred getting Travis Jones to upgrade over, say, Kevin Strong, but
I'm just saying.
I know. I understand. I do understand your concerns, but I like a lot of these players. You saw they were on my draft board, so that's why I was happy. And a lot of it, kind of came to fruition, and I'm happy.
But 3 years from now, do you think 3 years from now, are you going to be sitting here saying,
like I said, I'm not going to kill you, man. Like I said, we've never disagreed on anything.
No. Which is cool, but disagreement is cool. I ain't mad at you. We had over 140 in here. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so. Crimson, I want to kind of hit on a few people. I got a few people in here. And again, the link is in the description. Feel free to jump in and tell me I'm full of crap. I give this draft a C grade. I'm sorry. The future is now. And to me, I could not imagine the Bengals drafting Jamar Chase 5th overall and making him sit. I just can't see it. Can't see it. It would be a shocking thing to see. Could you imagine drafting Jamar Chase and just being like, hey, we're going to let you sit for the first half of the season? People be like, man, what the hell wrong with you? And I remember when the Lions drafted Joey Harrington and they started, was it John Kidnap? What's his name? What the hell was that damn dude name? Everybody named Mama.
Pepper.
It was somebody. And they was like, well, you start the quarterback. Come on. Yeah, if I draft you high, I'm expecting you to get in. It just is what it is.
But anyways, I got to get going, my man.
Appreciate it. Hey, real quick, any updates, any good news?
So far, so good. We'll see. That's
what I want to hear. And if it's not no good news, that's cool. Still praying for you. Still keeping you in my prayers and thoughts, man. So and thank you for the support, sir.
Love you, Luke. Got you.
Love you too, sir. My co-host, who was apparently free today, completely threw me the fuck off. My man's Lions Rumble 81 is in the building. What up, though?
What up, though, Luke? What up, chat?
First
of all, man, kudos to your wife and just
thank you.
That's incredible. And I was shocked that you were available today, man. This is dope right here, man.
Dude, so let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you how crazy this is. So the wife graduated from college. The same day she graduated from college, the kids was acting really weird. So I was like, what the hell is wrong with my kids? I took them to the doctor and they have the flu.
Oh no.
So I have 2 kids with the flu right now.
In April.
April. And so now that they got I got the 2 kids with the flu. On Saturday, what I did was I had, the in-laws come in and watch them, and then I took her out and celebrated some more because we really couldn't do much because we ended up in the hospital because my kids were battling the flu. And so today she was like, I know you dying to talk football, so go talk football. And I was like, and this is why I married you.
She's a keeper, man.
This is why I married you. She understands. She gets it. All right, before we go any further, sir, give me your grade for this draft.
B plus.
All right, talk to me about it.
And I was on I was in the bus with you. I think you were driving, and I was, opening the door for people as far as Kyle Hamilton. But I give it a B plus simply because I think we drafted versatility. I think we drafted competition. I think we drafted men who were the alphas on their teams. So I can't do anything but praise Brad Holmes for this. I like it. It serves 2 purposes going into the season because we're going to have, again, competition. We're going to have those guys who are going to be, wanting to be the leader on the team on the defensive side, and it's going to be, it's going to be great for Hard Knocks because then they're going to really see what Detroit is all about. Hard work, the tenacity, the just the ability to go from 3-13 to something that, the whole league is going to be watching. So I applaud it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one of the things where, I'm not killing them draft. I'm not ready to just be like a typical fan at this point and just be like A's across the board. You get an A, you get an A,
yeah,
you get an A.
I agree.
I can't do it because history tell me that those edge rushers from Michigan, when drafted in first, don't work.
Yeah,
and they scared the shit out of me.
But the thing is, it's a new era. Okay, so I look at it like this. Okay, we knew Hutch. Hutch was I don't want to use the word safe pick, but Hutch was a slam dunk only because he is a local kid. He's very, very smart, very, just family oriented, very dependable. All of those tangibles that, Detroit, people of Detroit are, blue collar, et cetera, et cetera. So then we go, some of those guys who played on that line last year, I like the versatility because I feel like they're going to be switching players in and out, up and down that line. We're looking for versatility in this young Lions group. It can't be the same. You don't have the luxury of drafting the one guy who can only play one position unless he's a long snapper. But we need to be able to move men up and down that line to expose mismatches. There's certain teams out here who don't have a good guard. There's certain teams out here who don't have necessarily a great center or a great blocking tight end. We need versatility on that line to expose that because, like you said, yeah, we still don't have an identity for this team. But I'm tired of seeing Will Harris get burnt by, the running back coming out of the backfield.
Don't forget the tight ends. Don't forget
the tight ends,
the receivers. Yeah,
exactly.
Don't forget them all.
And then Chris Spielman, in my opinion, had to be in that war room and made that Rodriguez pick. I get Spielman vibes from that. That was his pick. I think that guy has a huge upside because he was a tackling machine. Yeah, I get it. He went to a smaller school, but you can't teach someone how to always be around the ball or how to tackle. You can't teach that. And I think we're going to see Barnes be moved around. I think we're going to see Levi be moved around. I think we're going to see Pascal be moved around. I mean, I like the fact that we're able to draft guys in a draft that was, that didn't have, 10 favorite players who were like, oh my God, this is, or sorry, 20 players who were like, oh my God, I got to draft up and get this guy. I think Brad Holmes is absolutely a PFF guy, but he also,
Hey,
to be fair,
that fan man threw me off, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Because
yeah,
I don't even look at Pro Football Focus, and when he showed me that, I was like, you got to be shitting me. Are you
Yeah.
serious? Like, so now I'm going to be looking at the next draft to see how they, how they doing it. You know what I mean?
right. But I was very excited for this draft. I think we have competition in areas of question, and I think ultimately what it boils down to, we did purge we purged this roster last year with players that Patricia paid an insanely amount of money for, without the production to back it up. Former Pats players, people who just, to me, didn't have any dog left in them. Like Trey Flowers out there sometimes didn't even look like he wanted to be out there. But I think we got, like, all of these guys that we drafted were either team captains or led their team in something, alphas. And I think we're looking for now here on this defense. And I am so happy that we focused on defense and we sprinkled some offensive players in there. But to be fair, we need Goff to, be confident. I think I have never seen a player just kind of like sulk his shoulders and you have to fire him up. It's like, dude, you're in the NFL. You're still a starter. That should fire you up enough. That should make you want to go out there and prove not only the Rams wrong, but the league wrong, because they've already written you off as, oh, well, he got to the Super Bowl, but Stafford went over there and did it in one foul swoop. It's like, we need him to get confident, and I hope Ben Johnson can get that out of him. I hope Ben Johnson can get this offense clicking now that we have our whole offensive line back. And again, we need to be very mindful of some of these players who I think are in the chopping block. You guys brought up, Jeff Okudah. I think he's one of those players who is definitely on a chopping block, but Aaron Glenn and them still have high praise and hope for him, clearly, because he is a one of your bigger corners. He is somebody who I think we should be looking for this year, because I think, he's got a lot to prove. He's got a chip on his shoulders. He's got Aubrey Pleasant, who got in his face for making a mistake, and that should even motivate him even more, because Pleasant wants you to be the best you can, and Aaron Glenn wants you to be the best you can. And I know I'm just rambling, but I hope and pray that Aaron Glenn sticks around for at least another season. Bring this defense from the very bottom to at least the mid-level, to where we can see an improvement, to where we're let's say 18 in takeaways. Let's say 18 or 15 in the run defense. Just we're at the very bottom right now, and please, we have got to give this. We got to let this guy. We got to give this guy credit. We absolutely have to give this guy credit for just being a coach first, and being a player's coach at that.
Okay. Again, like I said, I'm not in a disagreement with people, but I'm definitely going to defend my stance on it, because I just don't think that we can. I can't do it. I can't stand and go A, B, B, and then I look at 2-3 years down the road, and they're not even on. Like, everybody was hype about certain draft picks. Okudah may not get a second contract.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
And I'm just saying, but when you go through and you look at all these different parts of this team, it's just one of the things. Shout out to Joey 2 times who asked for my kids to get well soon. Thank you for that. And then for Mark and people like Steve-O and people, I'm not trying to rush Williams. I don't want to rush him. That's not my problem. My problem ain't about rushing him back. My problem is you traded up 20 spots to take a guy who may not play for half the season.
And okay, and again, I think Brad Holmes had probably 5 guys who he was like, I'm going to pull the trigger on a trade up if I feel like this guy's not going to be there. So I applaud him for doing that. I applaud him for actually
but he would have though
taking a risk.
And listen, let's say he wasn't there, right? Let's just say hypothetically,
I think Green Bay would have got him.
Let's say Green Bay did take him, right? Look, let's say we just say the draft went the way it was. He took who he took, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say it didn't. Do you think all the receivers would have been gone by the time we picked at 32?
All of the receivers? No, not all of the receivers.
No. You think Pickens would have been gone?
But where did they have Pickens rated on their draft board?
Oh, I'm asking you. I'm just saying. No, I'm asking you. If you're looking for a receiver, because you have taken Pickens at 32, you think he'd have lasted 32?
You could have taken Pickens, but then what would you have gained from taking him at 32 if
you'd have gained somebody who's ready to go year one?
But do we know he's ready to go year one?
I didn't hear anything about him being out.
Everybody is okay, but everybody's okay. So the bright lights can tend to mess people up. I think Jameson, you saw it. The guy's got his own little. He's got his own vibe. He's like, look, man, I'll be ready for training camp. And I think
I love his swag. I love that.
You pair him with Antoine Randall-El. I think Antoine Randall-El is going to. I think he's salivating over that pick. I absolutely believe that. I think Ben Johnson is salivating over that pick. I think that wide receiver room. You saw Amon-Ra St. Brown's tweet. He was salivating over that pick. You know why? Because it's going to give these guys aren't going to get double teamed. You know, the only downside we have in that wide receiver room, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if he's still on his team or not, was Trinity Benson. I think we reached for him, but I think Jameson is going to absolutely come in and rip the roof off that. Now, does Jared Goff, is he confident enough to throw the ball down the field to some of these guys? I think time will tell. But that's what training camp's for. That's what that's what practice is for. That's what 4.3 speed is not the same as a 6'4" receiver. You like Tyreek Hill has 6'4" means nothing when you have speed, when you can't be caught, so his route tree looks eerily great, and it's again, time will tell. ACL injury, okay, I get it, but this guy's a track star. I feel like he's one of those guys you can move up and down that wide receiver. You can put him in slot, you could put him at 2, you could put him at 1. Again, I feel like we got a lot of versatile with this draft, and it's gonna, we as fans should just look at this draft and give it what it is. I think the defensive dynamic of this draft is we got a lot of versatility, and I think the packages are going to switch. I think we might see Okudah in and out of that the box. I think we might see Kirby Joseph in and out of that box. I think we're going to see something. We're going to see a different defense than we did last year.
I hope you're right. That's all I'm saying. I hope you're right. I hope every person here who's hyped about it, even like it or not, who he says is Pickens, Jameson Williams, everybody was saying the same thing when Jefferson came out. And Jefferson ended up probably looking like he's going to be the better receiver that year. So I don't care if they're that. What they did in college is cool. When you get to the pros, that's different, right? Because now it changes. Darius Hayward-Bay was taken high, right? And I don't know if I can even show it, but you can go through every year and just look at it. The best receivers are not often the ones taken high. And it doesn't matter how fast you run and all that stuff. I know we watch the highlights and we watch the games and we see how he's burning people. And it's like, oh, that's great. John Ross did the same thing. He's just not very good in the NFL. And we see the games where people like Vernon Gostin is killing them in college and getting the sacks and the pressure. And he looks like a home run hit. And right now in the NFL, you're like, where he at? And the same can be said for a lot of other players. I'm just saying that if I got 5 picks or 4 picks in the top 97, at the very least, I should have 3 starters.
I think you do have 3 starters. I honestly believe you do have. I think you might even have 4 starters. I'm just gonna be honest. I think I fully believe that Derek Barnes is gonna be. I think he's gonna be an essential piece of this defense, along with Hutchinson and along with Joshua Pascal on that line. Levi, I feel like he needs to, first of all, stay healthy, and he needs to just. I think he let it get to him last year. This guy is a smart kid. He's strong. He works hard. I believe that he's going to pick up his things this year. I believe that we there's so many pieces on our defense last year that were not effective, and I feel like Levi did get he was getting doubled and triple teamed because they were like, okay, this is the only threat we have to worry about here. I feel like Brockers was another one of those guys. They were like, oh, we only have to worry about him. You don't have to worry about certain people on this defensive line. I feel like Will Harris was getting picked on at times. And I think when you bring in competition, you're going to show them that they have to pick it up. I mean, I think Levi is an incredible talent for where we got him at. Time will tell again if he notices that. But I think this D line is going to go through a facelift like we've never seen before. I think we have a very versatile defensive line.
I hope you right. I'm not knocking it. Technical Puma says you should only draft slow and unproductive players. Everyone knows that. I mean, I get the sarcasm. I do. I get it. But if you look at some of the best receivers in the NFL, they didn't run fast 40s. They had intangibles, and they were tacticians at what they do, right? Like Larry Fitzgerald is a tactician. You know, he's something different. Yeah, and I get it. When you have a tactician, that's something different. Your 40s don't mean nothing to me. But I'm just tempted to say this. Hold on, Rumble. Let me get in Gunner.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm going to give him his time. I'll put you in the back for a second. Gunner, before we go any further, can you give me your final grade? And if you want to join the show, it is linked in the description. You simply got to have a phone or some kind of device with a headset. You come in and tell me I lost my damn mind, but this is a C grade. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't have a grade for this draft until I see them play.
That's fair.
That's what I did last year, and turned out to be a really good draft class last year. So I'm hoping for the same thing this year. They clearly see a problem with the run defending. That's why they drafted 3 edge rushers. The Pascal pick kind of shocked me at the moment, but then when I watched his some film and highlights, I get why they drafted him. He's great at stopping the run, and no matter where you put him, he's going to do that. Huge fan of the Kirby Joseph pick. I wish we would have took a safety earlier, but I still like Kirby Joseph. I think he could eventually be the starter, along with Tracy Walker. Really like the Rodriguez, the 6th round linebacker we got. I like him a lot too. I think he has a chance to be really good. Only pick I didn't really care about the 7th round pick, cornerback. I don't really see him. He might not even make the team, to be honest. It's really the only pick I just didn't really understand.
I hated the tight end pick. I don't.
Yeah, I was watching the Royal Lions UK while you're on it. You're talking tight end for like 5 minutes straight. How you don't? And then I was like, they're about to take a tight end.
I hate the tight end pick because if you look at the tight end that we took, and I get that you don't want to battle nobody as an undrafted free agent or whatever, but you're talking about getting a number 2 guy behind TJ Hockenson and stuff, right? So it's like, all right, cool. But look who was still on the board when we took that tight end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot.
There were still some people that I think would have been able to have more of an impact than the tight end. And, that's where it's like, okay, cool. But overall, I'm not ready to kill the draft. I'm not ready to kill the draft. I'm just not ready to give it high remarks. That's all. That's what I'm not doing.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna be honest though, I don't think Hockenson resigns here.
You don't think who resigns here?
Hawk. I don't think we bring TJ back. Not that we don't want him back. I think he wants out eventually.
Oh, that's a bold take. I don't listen. That's another thing.
It's just you remember when Golden Tate, when we traded him, how his mannerisms on the field. When you watch him, just
right.
Yeah, he don't really want to be here. I'm getting that same vibe from TJ when I was watching him last year. I just got that feeling he's gonna want out.
Well, I'd be surprised by it. Like I said, I get it, but to me, if you're not getting guys to their second contract, then I'm upset.
That's fine. I mean,
Wasn't
a Brad Holmes pick. Now, if it does come down to it between TJ and Amani, I think they're going to pay Amani over TJ.
Well, like I said, again, it's one thing. Like I said, me and Adam can disagree on a lot of things, but if it's one thing I agree with him on, is as a fan base, our expectations got to be different. And for the next couple of days, y'all gonna see me doing a lot of posts trying to get information because I really want to get an idea of where people are with this stuff. I'm gonna be putting it out there. What do you expect in terms of the numbers for an edge rusher taking second overall? What do you expect for a receiver taking 12th overall? Like, I'm gonna be asking these questions because I want to see where your thought process is and see does it in line with the average of the league in terms of rookies, receivers, and edge rushers and stuff like that. And for me, like I said, my standards is high. We're supposed to have a quote-unquote easier schedule, even though I thought last year's schedule wasn't as difficult. I thought we just had too many damn injuries. I just don't. 4 players in the top 97. I'm waiting to see how many of them start, and I'm going to be looking at the starters day one. And I'm talking about from the moment the game start, that's a starter. Meaning you are in as soon as the game. You're on offense, you're the guys who run out there. You're on defense, you're the guys who run out of there. And if I don't see that, it's going to be terrible.
Right.
Luke say what? What did I say? Luke say how many starters? Luke said how many starters we got from this draft? One of the possible. Because one of them, from everything I've been reading, been saying that he gonna be out in, at least till October.
I mean, regardless of that, when he does come back, he is the starter. There is
fine.
no, oh, well, he's got a battle. See if you sit him down.
No. I mean, but that's fine. But then you also have to now look at it. Why did you bring Reynolds? Let's say you brought Reynolds back.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cleve Raymond, who you use in the slot. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who you use in the slot. And you still got TJ Hawkinson.
It's a lot of mouths to feed for sure.
I'm just saying. I mean,
as far as the Aiden Hutchinson sacks standard, since people want to compare him to the Bosa's for whatever reason.
Not even close.
I know, but since they want to compare to that, Nick Bosa got 9 his rookie year and Joey got 10.5. So around that range is what he should be getting since people want to compare it to that.
Yeah, and again, I'm not going to kill him.
Joey Bosa got defensive rookie of the year too, so
like I said, I just looked at it like this. I was sitting up there, and again, I am not anti-Michigan because when Michigan play Ohio State, I'm rooting for Michigan. When Michigan plays anybody not named Michigan State, I'm rooting for Michigan. Right? They play Notre Dame, Penn State. I don't give a shit who they are. They play Central Michigan. That might be a different story, But when it comes to Michigan versus everybody, I'm Team Michigan. Right? Name me the last defensive player to come out that was worth some serious damage from Michigan in terms of the D-line, linebacker. You want to tell me Larry Foote was life? Okay. You want to tell me Devin Bush was life? Okay. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I remember everybody wanted Devin Bush.
Luke, a Mac fan. Hey, got to show Mac some love. Got to show him a little love.
One thing also that came out of this draft, so many fans are traumatized about the Malik Willis thing. I don't get it. He was never worth a first-round pick.
I don't. Yes,
not just him. None of them were. I thought even Kenny Pickett was a reach. None of them were worth first-round picks. They went with it. Other than Kenny Pickett, they went where they should have went. And everybody just great. Everybody on Twitter is pounding the table. Take Malik Willis. Take Malik Willis. We're gonna regret taking Malik. No, we won't. No one will.
Rashawn Gary. So he go Charles Woodson. That's the last one. Nobody's going to argue with you about Charles Woodson, but I'll be damned. We ain't going to say Rashawn Gary. No. We ain't going to say Rashawn Gary. Ain't no way in hell. Rashawn Gary.
It took him 3 years, and he had to sit behind 2 other edge rushers.
Exactly. Yeah. Nah. I'm talking about immediate
He's good now.
impact. He's okay. Now. He's okay. We're not going to say good. He's okay.
I'm not calling him great. I'm saying good.
Frank Clark Frank Clark, where was he drafted at? I said in the first round. Listen, people. We just took a guy second overall. Give me a first rounder that played on the D line that was a dog. Lamar Woodley was a second round pick. So for me, I'm cool with Lamar Woodley. But even Lamar Woodley as a second round pick was a benefactor of other things. And I love what Lamar Woodley brought to that team. But guess what? It's not the same.
Frank Clark was a second round pick.
That's what I'm saying. But that's my point. Those guys who are coming out, they're growing into their spots little by little. They're not coming in and having immediate impact.
Yeah,
he's
rookie.
Steve says Luke is definitely anti-Michigan. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Oh, it says scout the player, not the helmet. I agree. That's what I'm doing. If I were to ask y'all in the chat, tell me give me Aiden Hutchinson's ceiling. Like compare him to a player that you can make his ceiling. And then I go, okay, cool. But for me, yeah, I don't see it. Don't see it. Gunner, can I put you to the back? I got one more person waiting.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, give me 1 second, sir. Appreciate you for coming through. We have up my man Don 19. The link is in the description, so feel free to come in and cuss me out. Don finna be on some shit. I can see it already. He probably don't have it. All right, before you go any further, give me what you think. Grade the draft.
I'm kind of like most people. I'm gonna just wait and see.
So you waiting to see?
Yeah.
He bust up out here in red form. He said Hutchinson is Matt Crosby 2.0. Okay.
All right. So the Hutchinson thing, I think that's a bad take because if you look at, all right, let's take another school, Oregon, Justin Herbert. Let's look at their quarterback pass.
Mm-hmm.
They quarterback pass sucks.
Yeah, but here's the thing I want you to focus on, right?
All
right. Look at what my man came into.
Okay.
Herbert came into it with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, a host of running backs, right? Like they even drafted some things to kind of help him. Added some more receivers and run. So he comes into a different situation.
But
but here's the difference. When you look at Herbert, I can tell Herbert was better than some of the other Oregon people. And again, keep in mind, I am not one who thinks that Joey Harrington sucked. I think we destroyed Joey Harrington. Mm-hmm. That's what I think happened. I thought we had the wrong coach for Joey Harrington, and that's why he didn't survive. If Joey Harrington had to win anywhere else, he'd have been better. But that argument that you make is a fair argument. I'm not killing it. I'm just showing you that in the most recent history where Jim Harbaugh has been there and people have been took it in the first round because there wasn't a lot of these players getting took it in the first round, right? And I'm telling you, those guys that have been taken, they're just like, okay. They're okay.
Right.
I'm not taking that guy second overall. Okay.
You got this chat on fire. I love it. This chat is on fire.
I love this chat. I love this community. I love talking sports. I love when people disagree with me. I love when people think I'm batshit crazy. I love when people are willing to have the conversation with me. It opens up an opportunity for us to have a conversation. So
let me go ahead. Let me ask you: when they moved up, what's your first thought that came to your mind? When they
first moved up, my first thought was they're taking a linebacker because once they passed on Hutchinson at 2, and they passed on Hamilton at 2, I was like, oh, okay, right? And I was like, all right, so we going with Hutchinson, cool. When they traded back up, I said they gotta just because he said he's going to build this thing from the inside out. So my first thought was inside out linebacker, and Devin Lloyd was sitting there, and I'm thinking, okay.
I thought Brad Holmes said he wanted to build on the outside on both.
Now he said that we need to improve on the perimeter on both sides of the ball. Right? He did say that. But when they traded back up, I never thought it was for a receiver who was hurt. I never thought that.
I was like, Bro, when they first did it, I'm like, oh my god, it can't be Malik Willis.
No, I thought hands down that it was for a linebacker, because at that point I saw that he was sticking to the script of building it from the inside out. So I thought it was a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, keep in mind, Joe said, "Look, we're Lions fans. We're all batshit crazy." I mean, this could be true, but keep in mind, I don't judge players based on where they're drafted. I don't care where they're drafted. I think draft position is stupid, and I think that whole idea is dumb because nobody cares. The fact that the Raiders fans, I hear this all the time, and I got a buddy who's a Raider fan. He the Raiders could have had Calvin Johnson and took Jamarcus Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so nobody cares if the pick is not right. Nobody. But when you take Joe Thomas and the guy plays a whole NFL career well over 10 years and never give up a sack, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's nuts to me.
Right.
So
I'm not mad at you want immediate impact.
I want people now,
But I think they waiting because they know they got Jared Goff at quarterback. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I put it like this. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can disagree, say it's not a fair measurement or not. An interior defensive lineman by the name of Ndamukong Suh took in second overall, gave you 10.5 sacks. The guy who you picked up previously in free agency, who was supposed to be a rotational backup guy, had 7.5 sacks. A guy you take second overall out of Michigan needs to have at least a double-digit sack total. Anything less than double digits is unacceptable. And I'm not going to act like that's something we can get by. The same thing with TJ Hockenson. I was on his ass about his blocking early on, but the catching was still there. And when he started having drops, I was on his ass again. So I'm going to be consistent when I look at these players. People like Jameson Williams, okay. All right. If y'all love him, great. Do we have the quarterback get him the ball? I hope so. Right? Like, that's how I look at it. Because I remember St. Brown open a whole lot and it was missed down the field. So I'm just saying. But if he comes in and that dude only give me 7.5 sacks, yeah, that's not a second overall pick production. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what Chase Young gave.
Yeah,
Chase Young gave Washington 7.5 sacks.
That's not good enough.
Bradley Chubb gave Broncos 12 sacks.
I'm just saying, I want somebody who can have it, because if you're not able to get to the quarterback, because everybody fall into these generic narratives, get the guard as closest to the ball to get to the quarterback. But I've watched too many games where they got to the quarterback and it didn't matter. And everybody want to go, well, look at the Super Bowl, Luke. Yeah, there's a difference. They got after the quarterback. Don't get it wrong. But the other part of it is this. That same quarterback got sacked so many times and still was lighting people ass up while getting hit. It didn't matter. You have to have it from all three levels to make it work. That's how I'm seeing it.
So how you feel about this team right now?
When on May 12th they're supposed to release the schedules that show where we play. At this point, I feel like this team added some talent.
Okay.
And I feel the same way I felt about them last year. They were good enough to win 9 games last year, and I think they're good enough still to win 9 games. I don't have a player that we took that I feel confident enough is going to be a world shaker. Like Jameson Williams, he's a route running guy. I like what I said about him as a route runner and stuff like that. I love that part of it. But too many times I have seen it when we had a Calvin Johnson and it yielded what? Nothing. Even in Calvin Johnson's most productive year, where he had almost 2,000 yards, he had 5 touchdowns. So what? We couldn't get in the end zone. And so for me, that I see much of the same. And with the schedule being easier, my expectations 7 wins don't count. They get anything less than 9 wins. And for me, Dan Campbell needs to be put on the hot seat. Don't really care if people disagree with that. But at this point, I've seen too many teams turn it around. And I don't subscribe to a lot of these generic, broad statements because it's bullshit.
Well, you're gonna be pissed off because they ain't getting 9 wins.
With this schedule. How they not getting 9 wins with this schedule? If last year's schedule was hard, this year's schedule is easy, and I say 9 wins, and they're not getting it, then yeah, you should be cussing at the goddamn head coach.
But Luke, who the hell are we?
I'm just saying. Hold on, wait. Are we better than Seattle right now? I'm asking. Do you think so? Do you think we better than Seattle right now?
I don't know. I don't know.
And that right there is another concerning point. Because if you can't honestly say, hey, we're better than Seattle, or you can't say, hey, we're better, like are we better than the Washington Commanders? Because we're going to end up playing them. We're going to play the Commanders. We got the NFC East, which means you're going to play the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, and I'm forgetting the other goddamn team. Oh, and the Commanders, right?
Okay, I think we better than the Giants.
Okay.
Sure.
We play the Jets, we play the Panthers, and we play the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we play Seattle.
I think the Jets better than us.
Okay. You think we better than the Panthers?
Who the hell they quarterback?
Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I don't trust golf, so this is hard.
Are we better than Jacksonville?
Yes.
Are we better than Seattle?
I'm gonna say yeah.
All right. So you're already at 6. How many games you see us winning in the division? You play the Bears twice, the Vikings twice, and the Packers twice. So how many games you see them winning out of that? Out of those 6?
I could see us winning at least 3.
So 9 wins should be what the damn standard should be. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see.
That's all I'm saying. All right, let me go ahead and do a quick community before we get up out of here. Bring in my man's Lions Rumble. Gunner, Crimson Shadow is back. Drew, I hope you're still around and you listening. Come back if you can. And anybody else who want to jump in on community, maybe somebody said some shit you can't like. It is what it is. Let me see. Truth Teller says everything is projection. Nobody knew the Bengals were making it to the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl before they did. Yes, we are better than Seattle. I agree that we're better than Seattle. And to me, I think they should be getting 9 wins. I think that's easier.
Hell, I thought Zach Taylor should have been fired after the second year. Like, ain't no way you got 6 wins in 2 years. But
like I said, if you're telling me that last year's schedule was harder, right?
I need to wait and see when, like, what the exact order is, because traveling and all that crap. I gotta wait for that.
I think the upside is, like you guys said, I think the upside is we purged these. I feel like we got ripped off beginning of the season because we had players on the roster who clearly did not want to be here or clearly did not produce. They didn't buy into it.
I don't think they had too many players like that, really. I mean, the Patriot players, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe the Patriot players, and then I believe Okuda's injury, and first of all, how do I say this without sounding like I know everything? I think Okuda getting drafted so high put into his head that he was going to be the alpha. He was going to be the guy. He was going to be the captain. He was going to be all these things. And the new regime came in and was like, "Oh no. We decide who's going to take that next step. We decide who's going to be that, because we're coming in and we're going to teach you guys what is going to make you better." And if you aren't on board with that, then we'll go take a guy on a 1-year contract.
I'd probably suck too if I had
I do think that depends, though, because we didn't see enough of him last year. He was out week 1, really, to say. Who's to say he was, knocked down a peg or not?
Yeah.
Let me do this really quick. I want to read this comment because I think this is a very valid point, and it's one of the things I pointed out earlier in the show that may have been missed. But Joy 2 times says sacks are counting stats, highly volatile and subjective to a lot of unpredictable factors. Pressure rate and things like that focus more on DN specific abilities to beat tackles, which is more predictive. And I agree. But the reason I'm putting the sacks on there is because it's cool if you're putting pressure. But I remember one season with the Lions where we were getting pressure, nobody was getting home. And it was the most frustrating thing possible. It was the equivalent to getting ready to get some, and then the girl give you 2 strokes and be like, nah, I'm not in the mood no more. And you sitting up there frustrated because you know what's coming after that. So to me, yes, getting pressure is cool. I love every bit of that. But if he was not brought here just to do pressure, he was brought here to get pressure and to get home. And so to me, if my D tackle can get 10.5 in his rookie year, surely the edge rusher who's on the outside, and I don't see them keeping in too many tight ends to block him, surely he can get me more than 10.
Like I said, just keep in mind about that run game, man. We still have we were getting run up and down for a good couple years, ever since we lost Snacks as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I totally get it. And it's,
if Hutch is anything, he'll at least be a good run stuffer if he's not a good pass rusher, at the very least.
If Hutch end up being anywhere near J.J. Watts or anywhere near T.J. Watts, or anything, I'll be the first one to jump up for joy. But right now, history tells me don't get too hyped. That's what
I get it.
And he does hit it right on the head. It said Aleem should eat off of Hutchinson's play. This is what it's gonna boil down to. I think there's a lot of guys on here who aren't true alphas yet because we don't know their percent. Like I said earlier, there were people who were like, okay, we just got to watch this guy on the D line. We got to watch Aleem. We have to watch Levi. They're going to pressure up the gap, so we can double team those guys. They weren't worried about our edges, but now you have to worry about that edge, and you also now have to worry about that interior line. If these guys can get on the ball day one and recognize what they have on that line, then it's going to be a problem for the run game. I see that improving without a doubt.
Well, I mean, the Lions basically beat the shit out of the damn Ravens front line and got the quarterback there. And all I'm saying is this: they can do all that; it'd be great. What I'm looking at and what I'm praying for, fingers crossed, like hands to I'm on bending knee. Help me now. I need Kirby Joseph to be something because if I see one more deep bum to end the game for a field goal, I'm gonna lose my shit.
That's why we drafted Kirby and we brought in Elliott. So,
okay, well, Elliott, I don't think he's gonna finish the season, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a real.
Uriel Jackson says, "Luke G, your thoughts on James Houston? The problem, he's a rotational guy who may or may not make this team. That's my thoughts on him. I'm not gonna slight him because he didn't go to a big school and team HBCU over here. So I'm not gonna slight him, but."
Did you ever watch film on him out of curiosity?
I did.
He's an SEC guy.
So on Twitter, I'm subscribed to Dion, and so he posts a lot of his damn football team on there. And then I started watching games and stuff, and so I was familiar with who he was and stuff. Then I watched even more after they drafted him, but I still walk away. And again, whose spot is he taking? Because he ain't taking Pascal's spot, and he's not taking those other guys' spots, so he's definitely a rotational guy.
I think Austin Bryant's on his way out of here.
Yeah, good chance. He never can stay healthy on top of that. And we don't know if Charles Harris is going to stay consistent. So we've got him on a 1-year prove-it deal for a reason.
And that's the thing. Timothy Short says linebackers getting better is still going to be pathetic.
Yeah, to me, that's still going to be a glaring need in the next year's draft.
This draft told me a lot about Brad Holmes' system. He drafts just like a Rams GM. There's no doubt about it. He values the D line more so than he values the secondary. That's for sure. He's not going to neglect the secondary, but odds are he's going to take late round guys. He's already proven that with just 2 late round linebackers already. And on top of that, he went for depth. I know you hate the tight end, but
I fucking hate the tight end.
I know you hate it, but understand.
You tell me we couldn't have got him as an undrafted, or we couldn't find a tight end. We found 2 tight ends as undrafted, if I'm not mistaken. Come on.
He was top 3. He was a 3rd round pick if he wasn't injured.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, you got to remember, Hunter Bryan, David Phelps, I think their contracts are coming up, and are they going to come back?
I think they were late.
Lose another tight end.
I think Hunter Bryant got let go.
He got released.
Yeah, he got released, man.
And there you go. You depth at the
still
tight end position.
Still got Brock Gray.
I'm going to go on a limb right now today and put this out here. I could be very wrong. I've been wrong before. I don't mind being wrong.
We know.
Yeah, listen, you know me. Listen, ironically though, I'm still my rights are still higher than my wrongs, but it's cool. I know it's not a popular opinion because I don't go with the group. However, I can see the Lions making a serious trade for some type of secondary help before the season is out.
Oh yeah,
that's concerning to me, and it's frustrating. I hope they discover Okuda's a safety. Because I think if you put him at safety, you have just solved the problem, and I'm happy. And I've said this before. Rumble can contest to it. I said, hey, if you pass on the safety and make Okuda a safety, I'm happy in the month because he's going to be an awesome safety. He's going to be great at safety.
He's huge.
Damn, but I hate Kirby so much, man. What are you, a King DDD fan?
No, listen, I love. First of all, that's one of my favorite games too. Don't even get me started on that. I can play that shit all day.
Come on, man. But if we got to play the Titans, King Henry versus Kirby, it's literally Kirby versus King DDD.
My man Truth Teller says your perception is guiding you, Luke. TJ or JJ wasn't considered a can't miss prospect coming out of college, so production wise Hutchinson is right in line with both of those guys. No. My perception ain't wrong. I agree with what your statement is. What I'm saying is this guy is considered. This guy is supposed to be considered the can't miss pick. And so with that being said, you can't give me single digit sacks. I already had a guy doing that. And I don't pay him as much.
He might give us single digit sacks, but he also might give us double teams on that line.
I'll be paying attention.
That will potentially give sacks to other players. I think again, he's the most polished player right now because first of all, he doesn't have to travel very far. He's staying home.
I think that
helps on that curve. I think that helps on the curve as far as getting acclimated to a new city or a new man. They're gonna he's already, that's probably 75% of where some of these players have issues. Look at Jared Goff. I mean, I think last year him coming to Detroit, he was like, whoa, he's a California kid. Like, I think that alone kind of messed him up mentally until he got fully acclimated to, just the culture here and the people and the climate and all of that. But I think Hutch is going to be all right. I think we're not giving him enough credit as far as what he can do to this defensive line. He can man double teams.
I think at the least he needs to be defensive rookie of the year. I think that's kind of where
expectations are. Yeah.
Not to be off topic, but what was wrong with Brock Wright being the backup tight end? I don't see what he did that was so bad. Where we had
I'll tell you what's wrong with it, right? I'll tell you. Hold on, give me a second. I'll tell you exactly what's wrong with it and why this shit just pissed me off. And I'm telling you, when I say I naturally was upset, I was not playing. I wasn't faking it. I wasn't trying to get like people think I just want to be different to be different. No, I genuinely see things in life differently, and it's not because I'm trying to. I just never ever subscribe to the group especially if I don't think that the group is right. And I can go. This has been this way for my life. Whether it be political views or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying I never just blindly just said, oh, the group is doing this and this makes sense. At one point, the group thought that I wasn't even human. So, shit. Like,
I mean, that's still on the fence, Luke.
I'm just saying. All right. So, here's some of the people still on the board when they took this damn tight end. John Ridgway, a guy that you could have still used, right?
Yeah.
Kingsley, and I always botch his damn name.
South Carolina guy.
The South Carolina
guy. That Bukwe or whatever his name is. The Ed.
I botch everybody goddamn name. So I'm not. Y'all know me. This is what.
Didn't he go to? He went to one of our division opponents, right?
The Packers.
Okay, I thought so.
All right, now hold on. Then we come back. You still have where's the other damn dude at? Hell, I'd have been okay if you'd have took Darren Beavers, and I'm not even high on Beavers. I'd have been okay with that. I would have been okay if my point I'm trying to make to you is this. You still have work to do at the linebacker position, and you took a tight end.
My question is, Darren Beavers compared to Houston, how big of a skill difference do you think there is? I'm out of curiosity.
I think Houston's way better. I
don't think, but his question wasn't who's better, it's just how big of a difference. I don't think there's that big of a difference, but I also don't think that that guy makes the team for real. I think he'll end up on practice squad. I
don't know.
I
The
think they'll give him
linebacker
a
core's
shot.
pretty thin.
I think they'll give him a shot, but I don't know if I believe that he will make it.
Question is, who beats him?
I'm just telling you, like, when I go back and I look at this draft at people who were still on the damn board, that I'm like, hey, you could have did this, and you could have used that. You could have took the guy from Michigan State who plays tight end and plays fullback.
Oh, Connor
Hayward. And if you feel like, oh, this guy's the better blocking guy, cool, then let's go back. You could have took another goddamn safety for all I care. I just needed more defensive help. This is not I told everybody before the draft even started, you get one offensive player, make it count. Okay, the rest of it should be dedicated to defense, every piece of it, because we need those pieces. And when you're sitting up here looking at what we could have had, y'all going to do the same thing in about 2 to 3 years. Y'all going to look back on this and go, damn, we could have had this. Damn, we could have had that.
Well, that's everybody in every draft. I mean, case in point, if we miss on Justin Fields, how many people are going to say that? How many people gave up on Fields?
But that's my point. Even with the Justin Fields pick, I would be the one to tell you I'm okay we passed on Justin Fields, because Justin Fields, per usual, without that offensive line, was getting his ass whooped and was not a factor for the Bears. And when I look at what the Lions did, they said, let's create the line. I'm still cool. Now let's move fast forward to another year where we need more people to start immediately. You need to get people who can start immediately. And there were some people that I felt good about, like Cameron Good out of California, that you could have still took. But you took a damn tight end.
Yeah, Mitchell. I think Mitchell's going to have some packages for. I think he's going to have some packages for him. The guy's yards after contact. Okay,
don't care.
So he'll catch the ball and stiff arm the fuck out of whoever's trying to tackle.
I just don't care.
He's not afraid of the contact. So we need some dogs. We need that. We need
on
that
defense.
I mean, yeah, but we need it on offense too. Let's be honest, man. How many times did we see Hawk go down with an injury because he's trying to jump over someone?
Well,
fucking lower your shoulder, and fucking run him over. You were 6'5". You were
to be fair, his
lower
last
your
injury had
shoulder
nothing to
and
do with
run
that.
over him.
Hey, Rumble, I'm gonna hit you with my homeboy Detroit Drew once told me. He said, Hot needs to stop jumping over people. Dude, you're white. That's exactly what he said.
That's it. That's it. Run over these guys, dude.
But here's my thing.
You become a weapon if you can run over somebody. And God forbid, I don't like people getting hurt, but they're going to take a second. They're going to be like, hey, I need help with that motherfucker ran over me, man. You're gonna think twice before you go over there and try to tackle this guy by yourself.
Okay, now watch this. We did that same thing with other players that didn't even make the team. So I'm just going. We'll be sitting here watching, and when he get cut, I'm gonna come back to this video and I'm gonna say, like I said,
but who else? Who's the backup?
I mean,
Brock Wright.
Brock Wright. But my point I'm trying to make is
he right?
No. What I'm saying is we could have if all you're trying to do is just find another compliment tight end, you didn't need to draft him.
Right.
That dude from Nebraska.
We'll never know if someone would have picked him. We have no idea.
The dude from Nebraska was still there. JoJo, the man.
Yeah, JoJo was still there. I mean, come on, listen, and forget the name. Think about this. You got a safety, so that puts one at the top. You got an edge rusher, that puts one on the bottom. Where's the inside guy? Rodriguez? He's not about to be that guy.
He's coming next year. We're taking Noah Sewell next year.
Oh shit!
We're taking him next year.
I mean,
mark my words.
Keep this in mind,
13th overall, Noah Sewell to the Lions. I'm telling you.
Our biggest problem we had last year, and everyone, I think, could probably agree with me, was everyone kept getting injured. Right? We had no depth again. Now that we're starting to draft more players like this, now we're starting to build a depth core. Because literally, when we played Green Bay, and I hate to tell Green Bay this over and over again, we literally beat you with 3rd and 4th stringers. That's how depleted we were in a lot of these positions.
They gave us that win.
Yeah, pretty much with Jordan Love. Rodgers would have stayed in.
Jordan Love, he can't play. Jordan Love can't play. That's what we learned.
Man.
We need the depth. We really do.
We do.
And
I mean, we released Hunter Bryant. Did we draft him or did we? I mean,
he was undrafted.
He was undrafted. Okay, so
and correct me if I'm right or wrong. We didn't draft. I don't think we drafted Brock Wright. I may be wrong. Again, the question was asked to me. Shout out to the homie Analytics Den. The question was asked to me, Luke. How many undrafted free agents are number 2 tight ends, Luke? That's my point. We already got one undrafted. You might as well keep the trend going. There's no need to try to panic and take that when this draft should have been loaded from top to bottom with defensive players from beginning to the end. And if I'm just gonna put it out there, if y'all believe that Mitchell's gonna be that guy, more power to you. I ain't mad at you. But I've seen a lot of people talk about they said they signed the tight end from the Saints too.
I mean, that's why I gave it a B plus.
You do know Robert Tonyan was undrafted on our roster at one point, right? As undrafted.
I'm cool with it.
Oh yeah, Robert. Yeah, he was with Caldwell. Yeah.
But right now, if you're looking at the tight end room, they did sign a. So again, even further proof that pick is freaking stupid. They signed Garrett Griffin.
Again, competition.
Exactly.
Competition.
I'm all for it.
We need some guys to just Hey, he got drafted. You know how high his ceiling's going to be as far as his
You also got to remember, Goff loves tight ends and slot receivers.
Yes,
that's a problem. That's a problem. You got Jameson Williams. You got Jameson Williams coming back in December. Okay, I don't have time for you to be playing this tight end game. But let's count competition. There's your number one.
Okay.
There's your number one.
Okay.
So you got him battling for the number 2 spot. This guy you took battling for the number 2 spot. This guy battled for the number 2 spot.
Mm-hmm.
This guy. Let me keep going down. This guy.
Yeah, we have how was that?
2,
the 8
3,
tight ends?
4, 5, 6, 7
8 tight ends.
So 8 total tight ends,
Okay.
and you wasted a pick on one for what?
And we keep
I mean, to be fair, how many tight ends did the Bears take that one year?
They had 10. They had 10 of the roster.
What, like
and
12?
we clowned their asses for it. We was like, what the hell y'all finna do? We clowned them for it.
Yeah,
now
but
let's go
draft.
through and look at it though. Let's go through and look at this defense. Let's start at the safety spot. They could have. I think that Vernon McKinley guy was still on the damn board at one point. But let's look at the safety.
Didn't he
spot.
go undrafted?
Okay, another one I gave it a B plus. The 7th round pick, I would have wanted Marquise Bell, but that's just me.
Another person. You could have took him, but stay with me though. Here's your starting safeties right now: Deshaun Elliott, Tracy Walker, and then Kirby Joseph is the backup to probably Tracy Walker, because I think Kirby Joseph is more of a free safety in my opinion. This strong. All right.
Yeah,
and so now we got Brady Breeze. Yeah, we can write home about that. Who gonna probably bulk up and be a linebacker eventually. Jalen Elliott. Okay, that's cute. Will Harris. They don't even know what the hell to call him. No demo. Juju.
Cornerback. He ain't going back to safety.
Juju. I'm just saying, Juju and CJ Moore, special team people. You telling me that a Marquise Bell or one of them other safeties couldn't work? Meanwhile, I just want to show y'all this. Let's go look at the linebackers. We got Josh Woods, right? Malcolm Rodriguez, we don't know what he's going to do because he hasn't taken a snap yet, so I don't want to judge him. Anthony Pittman has been here for a while. This is a damn DN. This is a goddamn DN. That's a DN, a.k.a. edge rusher. So let's take those 3 out.
They can't block the run.
This is a DN. Let's keep
block the run.
Hold on, wait. We get here. This guy right here is another supposed to be outside edge rusher, aka inside guy, but don't worry about it. Another damn DN. Now we finally get to our first inside backer, which is Jared Davis, and then you figure Jared Davis and you figure Rodriguez. Boom. Now you get to Austin Bryant, another DN, Chris Board, DN, Rashad Berry, DN.
We brought Anzalone back.
Ellis Anzalone and Derek Barnes, 2 other inside guys. This is an inside guy, but again, we talking about competition. You need 8 tight ends to figure out life. Come on, bro. I can't.
I get it, but what?
Depends.
Okay,
you're gonna resign someone. You want options, right? Who are you gonna?
We need a lot of weapons. Which is
why I'm mad at the tight end pick. That's bullshit.
Oh, we got some more
water boys too.
Yeah, and more cowbell.
Look, I will say this much. You're not gonna tell me, Brett. There's something is wrong with Brad Holmes. He's a big liar. Because let me tell you something.
No, he's not.
No. I'm gonna tell you why I say he is.
Go ahead.
When he said his press conference, you mean to tell me you didn't see no linebacker in the top 3 rounds that was worth the pick more than And it's nothing against Pascal, but you ain't telling me you ain't see no gritty leader locker room linebacker in the top 3 rounds that was worth taking. Come on, Brad. Come on. You was a damn lie.
You know he doesn't value linebackers highly. He comes from the Rams. Come on now. You know that.
Hey, I'm picking up what he putting down. It's still funny as hell. I'm just saying, at some point, we have to be able to call a spade a spade. Now, I'm going here for a reason because I just want to see who was still left when they passed on.
We really got a lot of DNs, huh?
Listen, that's not. Listen,
you can never have too many DNs. Go look at the Eagles.
We about to cut a lot of guys.
All right, so let's go to the second round.
Trade.
And again, I like Pascal. I'm gonna say it again. I like Pascal. I don't know why people have. I do. I think he's going to end up being better than Aiden Hutchinson. I do.
I think Luke low key doesn't like dentist. He didn't like the dentist commercial.
Yeah. Bro, I saw Pascal blow through 3 dudes consistently.
That dude was beating I mean, listen, when I look at a person, I got questions, and he was beating the shit out of people. All right, so obviously Boye Mafe didn't make it to it, but if we had 34, we probably would have had.
You must have been happy as a Seahawks fan. Boye
don't even get me started.
And Kenneth Walker.
Don't get me started. We are totally because they understood finally for years that they was not winning because without a run game, it wasn't working. You can put whoever you want at quarterback if you got a run game. Act tight.
Man, he's got to be the highest Michigan State player drafted in a while.
All right, so let's watch. They take Pascal. Let's see who's on the board. Brisker's still on the board.
That hurt me a little bit.
Right, we could have used Brisker, but that ain't the point.
Nah, just the fact he went to the Bears, that hurt me.
George Pickens is still on the board at receiver, but don't worry about it. We got the best receiver before he got hurt.
I ask you this question. Between Pickens and Brisker, how much better are they from, say, Williams and Kirby? How much of a big difference is Brisker's from Kirby?
What do you mean?
How much does he beat him out by?
Kirby shows versatility because he was a wide receiver.
I think Brisker is better than Kirby by a lot. And the reason I say that is because Kirby had one good year because he was a 1-year starter, and that was it. And when we didn't get a chance to see what he would have did if he played past that, it's the same thing that happened to Stingley before Stingley got hurt. Stingley was thought to be this big can't miss corner. I think the Texans lost their damn mind taking him 3rd overall. And it's the same thing. But in my opinion, I think Brisker is going to have more impact than Kirby. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and be the first to tell you I'm wrong. I'm
not doubting.
Wide receiver turned safety.
Troy Anderson went a lot higher than I thought he was going to.
He went way higher than I thought too. However, let's just look at who's on there. Drake Jackson was on there, but again, he doesn't help our problem at linebacker. Let's keep going. Nick Bonito could have helped our problem at linebacker, but somebody's going to probably argue that he couldn't have. And again, it's all hindsight because it's like, they didn't know that, but they did. Because all them same people that were still showing there was there before they picked. Anybody who was there that was gone off the board, like Petrie and all of them, they was gone. But let's go into the 3rd round before we can get there, because just looking at who's still left, not who we took, but just who's still left, that makes me go like, okay, what the fuck? Brian Ashmo, I mean, you mean tell me we can't use him? You're gonna get a chance to see him. You're gonna chance to get to see him up close and personal, right?
Yeah.
Chad Muma, you're gonna get a chance to see him up close and personal, right? Like I'm not trying to be a dude out here.
He's a leader guy. That's another thing.
Wait a minute. Christian Harris. Seriously. And if you argue anything outside of that, all I have to do is simply show you who was still available in terms of edge rushers and stuff. You had Nakobe Dean, D'Angelo Malone, all these people were still there. You could have probably took in the 3rd. And by the time the Lions picked, which we understand that the Lions picked a little bit later because they gave up that other pick. But even here, I felt like we could have did something different.
If I may ask, because you were a former linebacker, and it's kind of obvious now, it's not a smokescreen, especially with the draft and how many DNs we have. We're going 4-3. I don't think that's a smokescreen at all at this point. As a linebacker, between the 3-4 and the 4-3, what's harder, to play the 3-4 or the 4-3 for a linebacker? I would think that it would be harder to do the 3-4 because you guys would have to basically be back there. You have to cover your positions. And if you don't cover and your guys don't up in the front three don't get there in time, you're in trouble.
Oh shit, Drew! I didn't know how long Drew's back. I'm sorry, Drew. But to answer your question, Crimson, as a linebacker, when I played, it's a lot that goes into my assignment. I play inside linebacker.
Okay.
But I can tell you this much: as an inside linebacker, I was more dependent on those guys in front of me than I was on the guys behind me, because the guys behind me, for the most part, was doing their job, and the guys in front of me, I needed them to do things so I can hit lanes, and they ain't have to necessarily do a lot of fighting with offensive linemen. But if they go in 4-3, great, I'm cool with that. But that's even more reason why I'm trying to figure out why we took a goddamn tight end in that point. And again, to the case of Drew, who said they didn't value it. Yeah, it's a lot of things I didn't value as a kid growing up too, like saving certain amounts of money instead of going to the goddamn ice cream truck. But now looking back on it, I could have been a millionaire. So things do change. And like I said, Jared Davis isn't tragic. I like Jared Davis. I like what they did. I'm just saying, you took a tight end who was just hurt. So right now, I think you took 3 players who had injuries previously in the year. That's all I'm saying. So could be.
I don't mind the tight end pickup. Again, we don't have a true number 2, and I think this guy, even if he plays 40% of the snaps, we're going to get a different dynamic at tight end, other than the guy we had at backup last year and the year before that. I don't think this guy's stiff arming fools 10 yards down the field. He's shedding this kid's an animal. And if we have another target on offense that the defense has to worry about or focus on, then who are we to judge? That's just going to open up the run game.
I'm not mad at you, Rumble. All I'm saying is, when they cut him, what you saying then?
I don't think they cut him.
Who he stiff arming on the goddamn streets? Who he stiff arming?
I don't think they cut him.
Okay.
I don't think they cut him. I think
when they put him on practice squad and he get picked up by somebody else, who you think he's stiff arming?
Who's our true backup though?
This is exactly how I thought this would go.
Garrett.
But okay, so Garrett's our true backup for how many years did we sign him?
I'll look it up, Rumble.
1 year.
It's probably
a prove-it deal. Competition. A prove-it deal. We have this rookie for however many, he's cheap. So if Garrett comes in and is absolute ass, and this kid comes in and proves he's a true number 2, again.
Wait. Forget Garrett. We already know that Brockers performed. So in my opinion, he's going to end up being tight end 3 at best.
Perform how though? How did he perform?
Because they asked him to block, and they asked him to be a red zone threat and to be short yardage, and he performed in that regard. So to me, as a guy that they did not draft, they still got production out of him. I just don't understand the point of taking a tight end.
Did you see this guy's college tapes? Did you see his production? Did you see what a mauler he is? You
know what else I saw? I saw the production of John Ross. I saw the production of Eric Ebron. I saw the production of so many other people.
How?
I saw it. You
feel this? I mean, okay, comparing Ebron to him, Ebron was taken a lot higher, and at least this guy was projected to be a 3rd-round pick.
He was 3rd. Yes.
So if you're taking a guy in the 5th and he was projected to be a 3rd, really, what's the harm?
The harm
isn't any harm in it. That's the
harm is there was other people who could have came in and helped you immediately.
Linebackers, safeties.
Yeah.
Linebackers.
If they had taken some linebackers and safeties, then you're like, hey, they got 4 starters. Hey, this was a great draft.
Nope, I'm not saying that.
Guys
no, I'm not saying that.
Draft.
No, I'm not saying that. See, this is where Drew. This is where you got to listen to me and not make assertions. And I want you to stay with me for a moment. If they go out and they take Aiden Hutchinson and they take Devin Lloyd at 12, I'm not saying the same. I'm not saying that. I'm still giving them a C grade because I've been doing this long enough to see that there's nothing for me to get hyped about, because over the time, in 2-3 years, we're going to be talking and we're going to be seeing if this person made sense. So one of the things you see people doing now with TJ Hockenson is they're saying, oh, he's a bust because he has the same stats as Eric Ebron, even though Eric Ebron's stats are a measure of 4 years compared to Hockenson's 3. So he's already ahead of him. But my thing is this. They can take Aiden Hutchinson. I don't care. I told you off rip, I need starters and people who can help this team immediately and be on the field. I don't care if they take that guy. But when I sit there and I look at you take 2 pass rushers, and then you think you're good enough to wait to take a linebacker in the 5th or 6th round, whatever the fuck you took him. Yeah, I got a problem with that. And then on top of that, you taking a tight end when you already got 7 on roster. What for what?
My question
is, they don't. If they thought that there was value in drafting those positions, they would have done it, and they didn't. That's
an assumption. That's an assumption by you.
No, it's not.
It is an assumption by you.
I have proof as to what they actually did in the draft.
Okay.
I actually have a question, and Drew and Luke, you can definitely answer this because you're definitely better at knowing the wide scale of the NFL.
Hold on 1 second, Cranston. Let me get this out the way really quick.
Okay.
Zach Eon says, Luke, you just angry at life. That is not wrong. In fact, I'm beyond happy in life. I'm doing really well for myself, and I'm not angry at life. We're talking football, so let's keep it to football. If you've been around long enough, you will know that I'm gonna keep it 100 when it comes to life. It's the reason why I start every video off trying to fight to help people who are dealing with different mental illnesses and things like that. And it's another reason why I end every show on a positive note, because of how my life has been and me understanding what my purpose is in life. But if you believe I'm just angry at life, that's fine. 2 or 3 years from now, come back and tell me if I'm wrong or not, if we having conversations about shoulda, woulda, couldas. That's all I'm saying. Now go ahead, Cranston.
Okay, to add on that, no, Adam and Mike are more angry at life if you've ever watched them.
Adam is very angry.
Yeah,
but it's funny.
He's funny. He's funny. But my question is, and for the top teams like Tampa Bay, the Rams, and the Chiefs, how good is their linebacker cores, like really, and their secondaries compared to like their D lines? Because I feel like they're more focused on their D lines than they ever are their secondary. They just sprinkle in a little bit just to get them by.
Rams have hit out a lot on their secondary in the later rounds.
Well, wait,
yeah.
So your question,
but that's the point, right, Gunner? Is that they hit in the later rounds. So that's what Brad Holmes helped them do.
Wait, who hit in the later round?
The Rams.
Okay. So to answer Chris's question about Kansas City, I think it's about Kansas City, right?
Basically, any of the top teams right now, like Kansas City, the Rams.
Kansas City do value their linebackers, but Kansas City has so much money wrapped up in other positions. That's why they can't keep people. So they've been trying to sprinkle people in and out for the longest. They did go out. They drafted that one linebacker that we liked, which was Gay. I think his last name was
Willie Gay.
Yeah, Willie Gay. And they had a few other people. But when you look at the amount of money that's going into the quarterback, the amount of money that was going into Tyreek Hill and is going into Travis Kelce, they was wrapped up on a lot of people. And so their defense has been suffering. But you know what Kansas City did, though? They came back this draft and they was like, let's fix this defense. And they started taking people to fix the defense and address those issues on the defense, as well as add some other people to help their quarterback who needs more assistance. They even completely before that season revamped the entire offensive line, blew that whole thing up and did it all over again. So they are addressing their needs directly. I'm just saying that, again, not asking nobody to join me on this in agreement or anything like that, but to have the conversation. Right. I'm just saying that at that point, to take a tight end, and I'm not against any player. If the tight end end up being a beast, I'll be the first to tell you I was absolutely wrong.
Garrett is a blocking tight end.
Okay,
he is a blocking tight end. Great for the run, but when defenses see him on that line, they know that he's going to block. So guess what they get to do? They get to take a play off. You bring in a guy like the one we just drafted in Mitchell, they don't know what the hell he's going to do. They're like, okay, who's guarding this guy? Who? You have to account for him, especially everybody knows Hockenson is he's a receiver. He's a receiving tight end. I don't think he's the greatest blocker, but we know he's primarily a receiving tight end. But if we're going to have 2 receiving tight ends, then why not make sure that they can both produce if one goes down? If we know Hockenson, when was the last time he played a full season?
He never has.
Second season.
With this guy jumping over people. Instead of running through people, he's trying to jump over people. And he gets dumped on his head every time he tries that bullshit.
Okay, that was his first. Okay, that was a one-time thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, man, we don't need our tight ends to jump over people. We need him to run through somebody. Run through him.
That's fair. That's fair.
I can get your argument.
I'm just saying.
But the thing is, too, y'all got to understand this. The Lions part of the problem why he has struggled was because we haven't really learned how to use tight ends since the Swartz era.
Nope. And we haven't had a coach. We haven't had a coach that can do it.
And
True. Who's the coach? Wait a minute.
Go ahead,
Hold on.
Thomas.
Drew, who's the coach that showed us how to use tight ends? I'll wait.
Oh, I'm not trying to answer your question, Luke. I'm sorry. Like I've listened to you this entire podcast, or for most of it. I'm completely on the other side of the fence, and I'm not trying to justify my position, like, because it's not my position. I'm trying to talk about like what Brad Holmes did in this draft class. Now I can give you the reasons behind why I think that he did what he did.
Well, I'm gonna let Numbers finish, and then I want you to tell me why he did what he did.
Sure.
The other thing too is you say, well, okay, a blocking tight end. Blocking tight ends do more than just block. I remember a former Patriot by the name of Scott Chandler who used to catch passes too.
Okay, Thomas. To be fair, we're talking past guys. We can't go past, because Dan Campbell was a good blocking tight end as well.
Okay, and he caught
our coach, the offensive coordinators we've had on this team, to be fair, did not know how to use a tight end. You mean to tell me Brad Johnson isn't going to know how to use a tight end with Dan Campbell at the helm?
We should have been using tight ends last year with Dan Campbell as a head coach.
Another question.
And we tried to, but Hawkinson was getting doubled and triple teamed because there was no true offensive threat out there other than our running back. So now we have these weapons. We have these weapons out here in this offense. You cannot double or triple team Hawkinson at this point.
Hold on 1 second. I hate to cut in. Like it or not, again, I 100% support anybody coming on here promoting their stuff. It don't bother me and stuff like that. But what I don't support is you spamming the goddamn chat. I don't support that. I will always say, hey, go and check them out and do it. Well, Detroit, they're saying Detroit Lions Forum is live now, and come join us if we do draft breakdown. I'm all in for that support.
Man, don't come on here with that BS.
But if you're going to do it, just don't spam the chat doing it. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm asking. Like, you can do it. Put it on there once. I'll put it on the screen and leave it there, right? So, because maybe somebody want to hear something different. But please just don't spam the chat. That's all.
So, who was our offensive coordinator beforehand, and what? So, man, what the hell is his name, man?
Anthony
He's
Lynn?
He's got a famous last name, but didn't
Jim Bob Cooter?
No, before him.
Jim Harbaugh? Not Harbaugh. What the hell am I? Lombardi.
Lombardi. For what? What the fuck? Why was he here so many fucking years? And why was Jim Bob Cooter here for so many fucking years, man?
Stafford liked them.
This is incredible. These guys we had great tight ends then, in my opinion. We had solid tight ends then.
I don't know about great, but we had some.
No, we had solid tight ends then. But again, these coordinators, these offensive coordinators did not know how to, they got him just based off their last name. Or whoever the fuck they
got somebody. They got some videos, some pictures of somebody.
It's incredible.
I do want to hear this before we get up out of here, because I do want to hear this, because Drew is going to tell us why they did what we did. Drew, the floor is yours. Hold on.
Am I going to get a chance to actually get through the whole thing?
You're going to get a chance to get the whole thing. I'm going to put you on the screen. I'm going to tell anybody who talk, I'm going to take you the hell out. I'm telling you now. All right. I want to hear the whole
Rumble
thing.
Immediately mutes us.
All right. You are up, sir. The floor is yours.
This is my take on what I think Brad Holmes was doing, okay?
No, wait.
I'm not Brad Holmes, Luke.
But wait, no. Wait. Let's go back, Drew. You said that you're going to tell us what he's doing, not my take. Okay. That's not what you said. You said you're going to tell us what he's doing.
Then take me off this. Put me back with everybody else.
No, I'm gonna listen. I want you to be sure that what you said originally was that you were going to tell us what he was doing. You said, I don't want to come on here and talk about what I would do. You said, I want to talk about what Brad Holmes is doing.
So a couple of podcasts ago, you had let's figure out who Brad Holmes is.
Correct.
Right.
Go ahead.
Now we've gone through a second draft class, and I think that we can better understand where he's coming from when he approaches a draft. Okay. So there's a couple of similarities that I think that we can take information away from. So his first class, he took 2 interior defensive linemen, and one in the second, one in the third, right? On Uzurike and McNeil. Okay, so he comes back this class. What does he do? He doubles up on edge rusher. Okay, still on the defensive line, but still 2 players at the same position. And he used premium draft picks in order to do that. He took the number 2 overall pick on Hutchinson, and he took Pascal inside the top 50. So he has built his defensive line from what he wanted on the team, not from what he had under Bob Quinn. So I think that it's pretty easy to ascertain that, like, when it comes to like picks inside the top 100 or the top 50, Brad is probably going to double up at a position that he thinks needs help. So, and let's look at those guys like Ali McNeil. I mean, if Anthony from Roar, the Lions of the UK or whatever was on here, he could tell you about McNeil because he loves that guy. But like also when it comes to like Onwuzurike, Hutchinson and Pascal, they're flexible. They can play up and down the line. So I think what you have is a really young, really versatile group of defensive linemen, and Brad Holmes has structured what he wants his defensive line to be. In order to do that, I think that, and like another thing that he's done is he's primarily focused on the lines, right? Like, so he took Sewell with his first overall pick last time. So that's a lot of top 100 picks that Brad Holmes has dedicated toward the lines, winning in the trenches, right? So I think that he emphasizes, or maybe Dan Campbell does as well. I'm not sure how much influence he has in the room with Brad, but like, I think that's very, very clear that they value line play. So I think that I would take that away from it. So like moving forward, I would think Brad Holmes is still going to place an emphasis on those positions, linemen. So what didn't he do this year? He did not take back 7 talent, right? He took Kirby Joseph, and he took a cornerback in the 7th round, which I don't think really has much of a chance to play cornerback on this roster. I mean, he might play special teams, but I don't think that he'll contribute meaningfully in the secondary. But what I look at after coming out of this class is these problems, to Luke's point, should be fixed now. You have taken players at these positions. Where have you not taken players that the Lions roster still requires? You need a quarterback, right? Unless they're absolutely committed to Jared Goff, which I still don't think is a question we have 100% answered. I would think not, but he's still the quarterback of the team. And you have not taken much, if any, talent in the back 7. So I would think, did he draft a corner last year? Not high, I don't think, if he did. But like, I would be expecting, if the Lions win 7-8 games next year and they're drafting somewhere in that 16 to 22 range, and if the Rams pick is something like 30, that they would be looking for defensive backs and linebackers. And I would say that they would want those players to exemplify the traits that I think that we can start to say Brad Holmes values, which is versatility being the number one. And then, of course, like the culture fit. So every one of these guys that I think that they took in this class, you look at them and you say, some scout or some personnel person, Melifonwu, thank you, Steve. You could say that those guys were great in the locker room, leaders on their team, good fits, good culture guys. And so I would think my expectation heading into the third draft of Brad Holmes, is that he's looking for the kind of versatile linebackers and safeties that a lot of the Lion fan base wanted in this year's class. I just think that Brad put a larger emphasis on what happens closer to the line of scrimmage than we would have wanted. Like when they traded up, and I heard that, like I was watching the NFL.com's coverage of the draft, and they said they're moving up from 32. I literally stopped what I was doing and was like, moving up from 32, that's the Lions pick. And I thought to myself, where are they moving up? And then I heard it was Minnesota, and I was like, they're 12. And I was like, who's still on the board that they would want? And I thought, this is Hamilton. They're trading up for Kyle Hamilton. We're going to leave this draft with Aiden Hutchinson and Kyle Hamilton, and we're going to like burn the candle from both ends. And I was thrilled when I thought that it was. I was like, here we go. We're going to be Kyle Hamilton. My buddies and I play a game where we bet $1 on who the pick's going to be. So I put my $1 in. I wrote down Kyle Hamilton, all ready to take their money, and then he says Jameson Williams, and I'm like, oh, interesting. I didn't have that on the board for them. Like I wanted them to draft a wide receiver, but I didn't think that it was going to be a trade up for the wherever he's ranked wide receiver, but they did. And so what that did was help inform my opinion of what I think Brad Holmes is going to be doing in these classes, which is, I think that they're going to try and take good culture players who are versatile at their positions, who fit in the locker room. And so I think that if you go up and down their boards last year and this year, more of those guys fit into that subject heading than they do into anything else. Like we were thinking, like earlier before the draft, Luke, like we were talking about, like they coached them at the Senior Bowl, right? Like the Lions had the opportunity to go there and participate in that event. And we thought maybe they would take players that were on their Senior Bowl roster. Well, and I'm not certain, because I'm not sure if Pascal was on their roster. Thanks, Detroit. But I know that Kirby Joseph was on the opposing team's roster, and he's the only one that I know for sure they liked because they took him. And so whether or not, if they had gone like we were predicting, like safety, let's say quarterback, and then like a linebacker, and they didn't make a trade, what I'd be saying now is that I think that Dan Campbell puts a higher value on those positions than he did things like edge rusher and wide receiver. So was I happy with what they did? I was personally happy. Is that going to change what I come to this stream and say? No, because what I am interested in is not validating my personal opinion with whatever I can in order to see, look how smart I was right. But I'm just happy at the players that they did get. And like one thing that I think that we should all be able to share about this class is that whether or not they were players that we would have taken personally, or whether or not they produce in their first season or not, they're all the same kind of culture fits, which means that I think that at the very minimum, our expectation should be they're all going to come out and they're going to play as hard as the players that you guys were so excited by last season. And so if they are just that and a little bit more talented, it helps this team. Now, it maybe doesn't help this team in the same way that you or I would have wanted. But what I think then is, if these guys work out, and maybe let's say Pascal does work out, and let's say Hutchinson busts, or he gets injured, unfortunately, like Jeff Okudah has, something like that, then you could say, hey, we have someone who's addressed this particular area. And when we go into the 2023 draft, because the rebuild is not finished, when we go into the next draft, we can start to more efficiently target these players. And like what I think that we saw this year that we didn't see last year from Brad Holmes was that last year, Brad Holmes, and if I'm wrong about this, please tell me, chat, but like he didn't move up.
Pardon me for 1 second. Ghostface,
yeah.
This is not necessary. You know what I mean? This is like, I love you, but this is not necessary. And
not necessary.
No. This type of language is not necessary. Can we keep it respectful? Like,
I
see.
I'm
asking. Can we keep it respectful? I'm all for having a good time talking trash and stuff, but please keep it respectful. This is not necessary, right? We are here for the same one thing that we love, right? And that should be the focus. I don't want to see messages like this. Please go ahead, continue, Drew.
Okay, my last point is that I think that I can't remember where I was. So help me out if
So
the rebuild will not last forever. But
yeah, there you go. I was just going to give it to
you. So I think that this rebuild is getting close to its end. And so I do think that so my expectations though are not high for this team. So like I would say we have an easier schedule. I would say that. I think that we added talent in the draft, and in free agency. And I think that if they come out of next season with 6 wins, and that's low from what the projections I've seen are, or the expectations that I've seen expressed in the chat, if they came out of it with 6 wins, I would be stoked because I know that they're getting better. And maybe that's just he did trade up last year. That would be this team improving. And that's what I care about. And so whether that's I did. If Aiden Hutchinson comes in and has 10 sacks, that's great. But if Aiden Hutchinson comes in and doesn't have 10 sacks and the defensive line is better, that's also great. And so like I hear it, I know, and like I do think that they are weak at certain positions on the field, especially on defense still. But whether it's this they drafted a backup tight end this year, like James Mitchell, right? Like he's hurt right now. And I think that the reason that they did that was because a year ago, they were in a position they just needed as much quantity as they possibly could get on the team. And this year, I think that they were a little bit more selective in what they needed to add. And I'm fully expecting that next year they're probably going to make a significant trade up to target more. And so like we have fewer starter positions open on this team than we did when they initially took over last season. And we'll have fewer starter positions available next season. And so the draft and the way that they draft people, to me, should change to say we need quantity, or maybe now they're like, now we need quantity plus a little bit of quality. And maybe next year they're just like, we just need quality, or whatever it is that they do. But I mean, I think that they've built some depth. I think they've added talent to this team. I think it's the right type of player that they've added as far as their attitude is concerned. And I think that like 4 or 5 games into the year, whether or not I've graded this an A+ or someone else has graded it like an F+, or whatever any individual thinks, I think that you're going to be happy with the team because they're going out there and they're going to be busting their ass. And I think you're going to see the difference on the field. And I think it's going to lead to them winning you over. And then when we finally do add the players that everybody wanted them to add, I think that the whole fan base can come together and say, we are really behind this team. Everybody can trust in Brad Holmes. Let's make a push for the playoffs. That's the goal. So I hear Luke and I hear your opinion and I get it. And this year just went the way that I had hoped that it would go. But I think that next year it's going to go the way that you want it to go. And I'm stoked about that because that's going to mean that this rebuild is through like the first real stage of it, which is to get the offense and defense to a place where Brad Holmes has constructed both of them. And that, and then once that happens, he's going to have the freedom and the trust of the fan base, of ownership, to be able to go out and continue to construct and build this team in a way that not only is going to win us games, but it's going to win us games with a bunch of players that we are going to really respect, that reflect what Detroit is. And then I think that we're all going to be able to be like, so everyone's an A+ on this team, right? Well, yes, indeed. Well, let's sip brandy and smoke cigars. It'll be great. So that's my spiel. Like, that's where I am right now. I had hoped that other people would feel the same. I know that that's not realistic, but I think that by, a third of the way through the season, what this team with these players on it is going to show you is that they're really going to bring a lot to the table. That's my hope.
Well, one, I want to say thank you because you just gave me a brilliant idea. I think I'm going to start doing subscriber takeover. That's what I'm going to do. I'll have a day where all I do is engineer everything in the background, and the subscriber, you do your show. You do your thing. I think I'm going to do that. Lock it in. Subscriber takeover is coming. I just got to figure out what day it is.
I'll nominate Rumble next then.
I was just saying, I think I'm gonna do that. I think if I do subscriber, that'll work. All right, we have been over
chat. You need to jump on Crimson right now. Crimson, look at there it is. Get him.
Yeah, there it is. Look at it.
Hold on, let me get it. Let me get it in. Hold on, let me get it in.
Screenshot this shit so I don't have to be out here on an island by myself anymore.
Well, first of all,
love this hat.
I like the Buccaneers, and they're talking about going back to that color, so I'm excited.
Oh, that is
I love this.
That color is sweet as hell, man. What are you talking about?
I know, right? I love this hat.
You got to start saying R after everything you say.
You know how many NFL hats I own of different teams? Seriously,
must be a bunch.
Oh, I own a half load. Yes.
All right. So here's what we're doing. We've been on for 3 hours and 34 minutes. I do appreciate everybody who rocked with us for this damn long, who came in, left, came back. If you hit the like button, please do break it up. I have a lot that came out of this. I appreciate Drew for giving us his view on what he think they're doing. I appreciate Lions Rumble for coming in. Gunner, Nomis, Crimson. Let me see who else we had. Down 19. We had my man, Friendly Neighborhood Lion come in. Dr. Detroit came in. Everybody who jumped on with me, thank you. My man Joey showed up. So again, I want to get into final thoughts. Again, I wanted to give y'all a reaction show. I had to do a reaction show because I've been busy. It's been a busy week. August is gonna be even worse for me because I have 4 weddings that I gotta go to. So yay! Each weekend that's a wedding. I cannot believe this crap. So I have to deal with that. So that's gonna be fun. So August is going to be a little rough, so y'all may not get as much content in August, but this is the heads up now. All right, for final thoughts, people, let's go down and knock it out. I'm gonna do it a little bit different today. Starting off with you, Gunner, give your final thoughts to the people.
They're muted.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who was eating chips. I just muted every damn.
That was definitely not me. That was definitely not me.
I can hear them chips crumble. Like, man, are you really gonna eat a bag of Ruffles right now? But go ahead. The floor is yours, Gunner. Final thought.
Hey man, we got the draft classes. I'm excited for these guys to start playing, hit the field, man. Hopefully we get amount of hits as last year's draft class in this one, if not more. Most player I'm excited for is Kirby Joseph. I can't wait to see him start playing whenever that is.
Okay. All right, Crimson Shadow. My brother from another mother. I seem to have a lot of family these days. Crimson, what are your final thoughts for today?
Final thoughts are on this draft. I mean, all things considered, we won't know until they hit the field, like Gunner said. And we'll see who takes the position. I'm never going to complain about depth, and we need it. We need every position, and even tight end eventually. Yeah, we have too many, but go look at the backup tight ends, really. Where were they catching when Hockenson got hurt?
Okay. All right. Going down the list, my man, Lions Rumble 81. Give me your final thoughts to the people.
Competition. That's what I like where this team is going. Competition. We want the very best guy to be on that field come Sunday. I loved what they did. They drafted team captains. They drafted team leaders. We still have yet to have an identity on this defense. And to be honest, we still have yet to have an identity on this offense. Yeah, Goff's the quarterback. He's been to the Super Bowl. But we still need an identity. We still need somebody that other teams game plan around. And right now, I think this coaching staff is putting a group of guys, young men together, who they're gonna potentially have those guys that other teams start game planning around. So my final thought is, great, hell of a draft. We got Hard Knocks this year. We got the draft coming up in 2 years. Hopefully we keep this regime together. You know, I don't want to lose Aaron Glenn. I don't want to lose any of these coaches that we have right now. I think they're going to be detrimental to righting the ship. And I love you guys. I love all of you guys. The panel,
Man,
the
love
chat.
you too.
Hey man, you guys are faithful. You guys have been here. You guys are in the trenches with us now with 3 wins. Hey man, let's keep roaring wherever we are. I'm in Vegas, so let's, you know, I roar proud out here in Las Vegas, so let's keep roaring, man. Thanks.
100%. Again, I'm going to also put it up. I'm going to put a poll up just to make sure that's what people want. But if y'all like the idea of subscriber takeover, I can do subscriber takeover. Plus, I'm just going to put it out there. Drew, if you don't mind, would you mind being a residential member of this beautiful thing of the Field Review family? Would you mind being that? Or is that too much to ask you right now? You need to think more harder because I see you got the Ravens hat on. So I don't know if you straddling the fence or not.
No, I accept.
Hey,
My
there
dog.
it is. There it is.
Hey.
We got us another one in the building.
Hey.
So look,
Hey.
y'all don't got to worry about me saying crazy shit no more. Drew gonna check me. I promise you.
Receipts.
You know, Rumble gonna check me, but Drew definitely gonna check me. He can't wait to get me. So I appreciate it. All right, let's go down here to one of my other brothers from another mother who's been rocking with me for a long time. And has always been supportive of me. My man's Nomis J, who we always say is Nomis J is in the building. Nomis, what are your final thoughts for the people?
Listen, regardless of what you wanted out the draft, personally, even if like the draft went the way I thought it should go, it's at the end of the day, you still gotta see the product perform. And like I said, we don't know what's gonna happen next when it comes to roster moves.
Wait a minute, is that true?
And at the end of the day, I like the players that we got. My only issue was how we incorporated it. But other than that, I'm fine with the draft for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving every player a chance. At least got film to go watch, especially on the late round picks. Those are guys you got to really go watch on them. And, you know, we just go keep seeing what's going to come on rising, man. Y'all, like I said, this draft was very key. Let's see what the design they're trying to go with. And as far as that goes, you know, like I said, all the same blessings to everybody in the chat, you know, panel as well. Congratulations to you and your family for the accomplishment that was made in Cleveland. And
thank you.
Everybody be safe and healthy, and God bless.
All right, and last but certainly not least, oh wait, Joey 2 times says I can dig the subscriber takeover. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'll pick 2 days where we'll have 2 subscribers come on. I'll give you about 30 to 45 minutes. You talk your talk, and I'll just engineer the whole thing. And I just got to figure out how I'm going to get everything to you so you can actually do it. Again, I'm gonna just get this out there, people. Do not come in here if you don't have thick skin. It's real, okay? You need to understand that you're going to be criticized and people are going to think you're crazy. I am so used to it, it don't even bother me. It doesn't. But please understand, if you do jump in for a takeover, don't get on here and then somebody says something to you and you just go off. Because as the engineer, I can just be like, yep, that didn't go the way I see it planned. So let's just keep it, keep it clean and hop on if you're strong enough. Now, last but certainly not least, because I got to go back and clip that whole entire thing that he dropped because that's going to be a video about. Oh, yes, going down, Drew. You fucked up. You fucked up. Just admit it. You fucked up. Okay, you did that. That's your fault. Don't blame nobody but yourself. Okay, it's getting clipped and I'm putting it up. All right. Drew, give the people your final thought and make sure you plug the podcast because I was listening to the latest one. And my ass was in rare form laughing. I'm in the car like why I don't think like this when it comes to Star Wars. I don't get it. I don't, but yeah, I love every bit of it.
Well, I appreciate you listening, man. That's great. I'm glad you like it. So I think I think my rant was my final thoughts. I'm not going to take up anybody's time with more of my thoughts, but like the podcast is mediocre conversations with Tom and Drew. It's on Spotify and Anchor, Apple Podcasts as well, but Spotify is our chief distribution outlet. It's mainly about Star Wars, but eventually we talk about other stuff. People quit listening when we did, so we went back to Star Wars. So it's great. It's fun. I talk about Star Wars with a buddy of mine. Check it out if you've got some free time and you want to listen about Star Wars. It'd be great. So I just want to say thanks again.
again, people, y'all know me. I don't end the show unless I do it on a good note. So thanks to all the guests and all the people who came in, all the people who subscribe and going to tell other people to subscribe. Thank you so much. It says Luke does like people disagreeing with it. I do, because it's good for conversation. I do not mind you disagreeing, especially when you can support it. It's been times when Rumble, Crimson, Nomis, Gunner, hell, Drew, everybody's come on, and I'll be like, okay, that's fair. That's a good point. Can't argue that, right? And I'll back down if it's a good point. But it's been times when people are coming on to make an argument, and I'm like, I have no clue where you're going with this. Why are we doing this? It's not even the same topic we were on. So I don't mind it. But I like to end shows on a good note. Today's possible quote comes from the internet because I do not know who said it, but it says, stop trying to love the red flags out of people. I'm going to say that again. Stop trying to love the red flags out of people. It's somebody right now in your circle that you know you need to get away from. But you just see all the red flags. It's somebody you dating right now that you know got all the red flags in the world, and you just want to ignore every single one of them. See, this is the thing about red flags. Red flags is life's way of telling you that there are better options for you awaiting you. That heaven you're trying to get to has always been in your foresight, as long as you are willing to just accept the red flags that are being tossed out. There are some people who are meant to be there for a season while others are meant to be a root, and the red flags help you identify who's the root. Do not sit there and act as if though you can love the red flags out of people. Some people are who they say they are, and when people tell you who they are, please believe them. You cannot constantly take on people's baggage when you are so busy trying to unload yours and still be functional for those people who truly rock with you. When you try to love the red flags out of people, you're giving energy to people who simply don't deserve your power, does not deserve your love, your attention, and neither comes close to having your spirit. You simply just need to understand the most important parts of it all, which is don't love the red flags out of them. Allow the red flag to be placed so that when other people walk up and see them, they can know who they're dealing with as well. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and if you do nothing else, if you don't do nothing else, please do your research. Don't be no chump. Get her in. We are out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for rocking with me. Till next time.